Armstrong makes his return to the Harrogate side after his move to Wrexham broke down for now. He is the man who has been really the key to everything that they try and do in an attacking sense ever since they were promoted out of the National League and into the Football League. We've got a big crowd of Gill supporters, very nearly sold out Rainham to our left-hand side, and a modest, but congratulate them because it's a long trip, Harrogate fans opposite us, probably about 30 or so, but they'll try and make themselves heard perhaps as much as they can, Peter.
Well, let's hope that they are silenced for the duration of the game. The Colchester fans, for a local derby, didn't turn up in huge numbers, and it was party time for our dear friends from Essex. They're not the best supported club in the country by any means, and it's a long old hike at the best of times to get down from Harrogate. So, fair play to them for making the journey. From our own point of view, good to see again, as you say, the Medway stand and the Rainham end pretty full up, and large sections of the Gordon Road stand as well. So it's a decent crowd in, and as we were just saying about expectations, that double-edged sword. That when you suddenly the expectations go up and the crowds go up, you want to ride that wave of optimism. You'd have to say that today and then next Saturday, having two home games, one would hope that this could be just a little bit of a very minor relaunch. We've had a fantastic start. There will be blips along the way. Wherever you finish in the table, you have ups and downs during the course of the season. We've had a good start. I just want to just steady things down a little bit. Maybe the last time going against Colchester, put a bit of realism into things for supporters. Today, hopefully, I'm not saying it's going to be turned into fantasy, but more that hopefully we can get the show back on the road a little bit in terms of points and moving forward.
About to get underway. Harrogate will kick off. The sides are attacking the end. Perhaps you'd expect them to. Gillingham attacking the empty Brian Moore stand in the first half and attack the Rainham end in the second half, and Harrogate will get us underway in just a moment or so. The two team lineups, starting with the visitors. Harrogate, Mark Oxley in goal, back four, Kane Ramsey, Anthony O'Connor, Rob McDonald and Liam Gibson. In midfield, Josh Falkingham, Matty Daly. The three players behind the striker, Sam Folarin, George Thompson, Abraham Odo, and then Luke Armstrong up front. The Gillingham side is Jake Turner in goal. At the back, Shay Alexander, Masterson, just wait because Johnny Williams is chasing a ball, but he's not going to get on the end of that one. So it's Alexander, Masterson, OG and Malone. Midfield, Robbie McKenzie and Sean Williams. McKenzie is playing in a defensive midfield role today, plus George Lapsey playing off the striker Macaulay Bond. The wide players, Johnny Williams and Connor Mahoney. Mahoney on the right and Johnny Williams on the left-hand side, but it's Harrogate in possession. Not much they can do with that one. They clear it away there through Gibson, only as far as George Lapsley. Does it stay in play? No, it doesn't. And it's Mahoney trying to keep it in play unsuccessfully. Throw to Harrogate. You'd
have to say, we've played almost a minute, and you just think for these players, yes, they are unbelievably fit. They're almost absurdly so. But at the same time, this is going to be a draining experience, and you wonder, how sharp will players be when we get to minute 90 or minute 99 or whatever it might be.
Yeah, you won't want too much stoppage time today, well, unless you're behind, and then of course you take any stoppage time you want. Free kick there to Harrogate Town inside their own half for a foul on Luke Armstrong. It's going to be taken by George Thompson, and it's played across the back four to Anthony O'Connor, who will find Ramsey on that right-hand side. Johnny Williams for company, gets past Johnny Williams, tries to play it in, but he's given the ball away. Gillingham getting it back with Williams. And he plays a high ball looking for Macaulay Bond. One at the back, though, by Harrogate. And Ramsey should be able to clear the ball away, although he's being put under a fair amount of pressure, though, on that far side by George Lapsley, who wins off the throw, taken quickly. Goes in towards Bond. On the left-hand side there is Malone. Cross comes in, taken away. And there was a free kick given to Gillingham for a foul on Johnny Williams. And I think maybe some of the Gillingham supporters were perhaps wondering whether, when Folarin sort of exited the scene, he sort of walked over Williams a little bit, but certainly nothing more in that other than the foul according to the referee or any of the players on the pitch. Yeah,
slightly naive challenge. Gives Jules a free kick really midway inside the Harrogate half. Chance to load in the centre-backs, which I think is no bad thing. We desperately could do with an early goal just to give Harrogate a real problem.
Mahoney floats that one over. It's dealt with, though, by the Harrogate defence. Second attempt, it's headed away, though, by the visitors. And it's picked up on this near side by Malone and goes out of play, and it's going to be another Gills throw to be taken by Alexander. I just actually got thinking, the number of players in the Gillingham squad who have a long throw now, number's quite a few. Alexander's got one. I've seen Mackenzie launching long ones, and OG as well has quite a throw too. Well, it's always good to fool the opposition. He wins himself a corner there, did well there, did Shea Alexander, and it goes out of play just behind the goal, right by the corner flag. So chance for Mahoney to get an early set piece in.
Yeah, I think Alexander did as much as he could. I think it's going to be very difficult. If we play a ball into the box but it's not at a set play, it's going to have to be absolutely perfect. But corner opportunity is a good one.
And it's Mahoney who plays that one in. It's a decent one. It's a Harrogate head to it first. Shot coming in from Williams. Takes a deflection. Actually hit George Lapsey, I think, as it went in. Comes back out. Chance for Gillingham again. Very crowded in that area. They're going to clear the ball away. Comes to Gillingham again with a chance there for Mackenzie. Headed out though by Odo for Harrogate Town. And now Malone with a bit of time, just crossing his own halfway, or into his own half, if you like, before clearing that one long. The target, though, is on the left-hand side there, Johnny Williams. In the shade, he'll be pleased about that. Little touch trying to get onto his foot. Challenge going in, a fair one, according to the referee. From Ramsey, who clears that one long. And Turner could be careful here. He does actually come out and very calmly heading that one into the path of Robbie Mackenzie. Back again towards Turner. Little step over there. I'm not sure the manager would thank him too much for that, but the supporters seem to like it. And he does manage to get a long ball forward. And Harrogate playing that one now.
Good thing that header back was intercepted by one of his own players, because Lapsey was going to run in behind there. I think that Johnny Williams will be okay after taking a bit of a whack. But the referee not buying it. Gilles just trying to play a decent tempo, which I think is no bad thing. When there's a little bit of space, we've got to capitalise on that, because as you said just pre-match, I think that Harrogate will be very happy to sit behind the ball and wait for their opportunity. But some good work has just got Gilles a throw in almost by the right corner flag, as we see it from an attacking point of view. So OG stays at home, but Masterton goes in and joins with the goal machine that is Robbie Mackenzie. Alexander taking the throw. He's the only other player apart from Mackenzie in this starting 11's actually scored this season. Well,
absolutely. Here goes Alexander now. Gets a little bit of distance on it. And he goes around the 6-yard box. Headed out, though, by Harrogate. Nearly ran there towards Conor Masterson. Comes back out to Alexander on the right-hand side. A great deal of room to play with, but I thought he was going to just lay the ball off there towards Mahoney, but he doesn't succeed in doing so. And Odo with a chance to play that one back to Gibson, who plays that one into the...
he hit the roof.
Midway stand.
That's
landed back on the pitch. Didn't do too badly. The highest point in the ground.
Yeah,
the result of it all is a throw.
Once the phone taken quite a bit further forward than Gilles realised. It's midway inside their half. That was. But they say, there's every chance Harrogate will sit behind the ball, and we need to move the ball quickly if we possibly can, and try and get into broken play situations, because if they get set against us, it will be quite difficult.
Throw in there, taken on, flicks that one on, looking for Johnny Williams, cleared away though by Falkingham, out of play for a throw on the far side. Am I right in saying that the advertising boards are in full use now? Is this a new thing for this game? This
is, yeah. We only had one. The midway stand side was the only one that was operational for the game on Tuesday night. But yes, we've dragged into the 21st century. We'll have fireworks to put the game next.
Is Shea Alexander right-hand side. Decent cross towards far side. Should be the goalkeepers. Mark Oxley, the Harrogate keeper, and he collects that one. But that was good play there. It was a ball forward from Masterson, which is very nearly actually cut out, but it got away from his man. Got to Alexander on the right-hand side. He got a decent cross in. There was a crowded area, but Mark Oxley, with the advantage of being able to use his hands, collected comfortably.
Goal in the FA Trophy, an early one. Beckenham 1, 3 Bridges 0. The latest score in this division, League 2. Crawley have taken the lead at home to Newport, a 0 there, and Swindon lead at home as well against Sutton United by 1-0. England's women have beaten Sri Lanka by 8 wickets. That looked pretty much inevitable when they bowled them out for 106. That 8-wicket win then. It's BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub, your commentary team at Gillingham against Harrogate. Peter Lloyd and Matt Davison.
7 minutes played. Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0, but only Gillingham attacking at the moment, and it's with Johnny Williams over on that far side. It's people in the Medway stand are just sort of seeing a shadow over there. It's actually the brightness of the new rolling advertising boards, but now it's played out of play by Harrogate.
The surreal thing is particularly for evening games, if the players come over to the near side, the midway stand side, suddenly they start glowing. And it's because the hoardings are lighting them up. Just got a phone virtually over the edge of the penalty area, left hand side. OG's going to hurl this one in, I'm sure.
He will do, yeah. Macaulay Bonne is very near goal, so is Robbie Mackenzie, and so is Conor Masterson. A couple of players just a few yards outside, and in fact nearly everybody is within 30 yards of goal. In it goes. Harrogate head first. It's Armstrong heading that one away, out of play, and another Gills corner.
The Gills have started at a decent tempo. It's opening 8 minutes. Had a couple of corners, going to some a couple of positions where the right cross might have caused a problem. And the previous corner was a little bit of a scramble in the box. It's a good start, but obviously we want that early goal if we possibly can.
Mahoney looking to carry on from where he left off on Tuesday night, being involved in both goals and the 2-1 win over Leyton Orient in the EFL Trophy. Puts an arm in the air and floats a corner in just to the corner of the 6-yard box. Harrogate, though, dealing with that one, but it's picked up there again by Malone. Now Mahoney, still on the left-hand side from the corner. And Malone is an option there for him, and he finds him. Plays that one back to Johnny Williams. Williams and Che Alexander, the two deepest outfield players for Gillingham at the moment. Sean Williams is available on the right-hand side if Alexander wants that option. Instead, he plays it to Mackenzie. Plays a low ball there, looking up there towards Masterson. Cleared away.
The Harrogate defender wasn't messing about there, was he? Ball played forward to try and find a gap down the channel, and he's just hoofed it. There's no other way of describing that.
Yes, you can possibly see what sort of Harrogate's plan is here. Sit very deep, and then when they do get a ball, try and sort of get it forward. But their forward balls haven't had any consequence so far. They've got a chance for a free kick now, though.
Yeah, goal at Longmead, Tonbridge against Taunton Town. Matt Eastley.
Yes, it's gone to the visitors' match. 7 minutes on the clock, and it was a slip by Ben Swift and enabling Dylan Morgan to bear down on goal and finish sweetly from 12 yards past Johnny Henley. Tunbridge Angels 0, Taunton Town 1.
Back here it's Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town 0 at Priestfield with Peter Lloyd and Matt Davison.
And this is Armstrong trying to get into a little bit of space on the right-hand side there for Harrogate Town, but OG is dealing with it, and so is Malone, but it does go out of play. Harrogate get possession back with a throw about midway inside the Gillingham half on the right-hand side. Going to be taken by the fullback, Kane Ramsey.
Already taken it.
He has. It's being played across there. That's Liam Gibson, the left-back. Plays that one forward, looking there for Odo. He finds a little bit of a gap between two Gills players. It doesn't, though, come off, though, for Matt Daly. And Gillingham get it back. High ball there from Sean Williams. Bond is looking to chase that one. There's a defender who should be all right, but it's probably his only option is spinning out for a throw, unless he's going to pass back to his keeper. That option wasn't really available. Well played there for Corley Bond. Good pressing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't particularly finessed. Just get it forward, and he's turned defender around. He's a poor touch, and suddenly he's got to put it out of play.
The throw is taken to OG, and there's Malone. Nice little volleyed cross in. Very skillful stuff there, but it's cleared away, though, by Harrogate. This is Che Alexander. And OG has possession now just in from the touchline on the left-hand side. He's fouled and wins himself a free kick.
Yeah, again, that's a little bit of a cheap one, in fairness, by the visitors. But I suppose if you scout Gillingham, you're bound to say this is you come down here, you sit behind the ball and just play for that. There'll be a chance at some point. That's what we said how important an early goal would be. Really give them a problem for their tactical side of things.
It's going to be taken by Scott Malone. Most Gillingham players are just on the edge of the penalty area, with Johnny Williams a bit more advanced but wide. In it goes, cleared away comfortably though by Anthony McConnor. Comes to Sean Williams, who'll try and volley one in left-footed, but was right underneath that, too far out.
Let's go to Crabble. Goal in that game as well. Dover against Weymouth. Matt Gerrard.
Dover 0, Weymouth 1. Weymouth with the first attack of the game. They've got the goal cross inside the penalty. The ball bounced loose and it landed to Ezie Toure, their signing, who only signed this morning, former Watford man. He blasted the ball home from 8 yards, and Dover's problems of keeping a clean sheet have continued. It's only 1 in 16 now. It's Dover 0, Weymouth 1, 10 gone.
Not going brilliantly on our feature game so far, but the Gills are 0-0 with Harrogate here at Priestfield.
And it's a free kick, goal kick rather, taken by Mark Oxley, the Harrogate goalkeeper. Goes out of play on the far side. Gillingham get possession back with a throw. Level also with their own penalty area, taken by Malone to OG and back to Jake Turner, who's not had a great deal to do in this game. He had that incident when he sort of came out and headed it to around about 25-30 yards or so from goal, and then they got a little smart step overs, but other than that, nothing to do in a saving sense. Clears it long. Harrogate get it away, and Gillingham trying to get it back on this near side. Harrogate back in possession.
Yeah, we again know that if teams are scouting Gillingham, that is something that Turner does, that he'll sort of feint to hoof it and then drag the ball back. And some awful control by the Harrogate left back means he just kicked the ball straight out of play. But really, at some point, someone's going to be wise to that from the scouting and say, he'll always drag it back. And when he does that, someone's going to react to it. Anyway, Gills have a throw in, taken short.
By Alexander up towards Lapsley, but the offside flag is up there against Mahoney, so it's going to be a free kick to Harrogate Town. As you said, only 2 players in the Gillingham starting 11 have scored this season. Robbie McKenzie, joint high scorer with 3, all in very sort of early August. And asked him this week, he said, what's the highest you've got in a season? He said, I think it's 4 or 5. He's not too far off that. You hear the Harrogate fans?
Yeah, I was just
sing.
pointing out that it's gone very quiet here, and the chanting I could hear, I was looking towards the Rainham end, it's actually coming across from the Gordon Road stand, the 30 or so Harrogate supporters.
Yeah,
Good on.
I wonder if they all bring down a packed lunch from a certain emporium.
Which I didn't go to when I went up to Harrogate earlier on in the season. It went straight to the ground and back again. But a lovely town it was. Now it's Harrogate in possession on the left-hand side with Gibson playing a ball in there towards Thompson. Thompson tries to find Odo, who's still got the ball despite a little bit of a nudge from George Lapsley inside the area. It could be a chance now for Daly. Option not available necessarily for a shot, and Johnny Williams there, just a little bit of pressing. Still in possession though with Ramsey just on the corner of the penalty area. Malone has got to be careful. Finds a ball in. Armstrong turns, shoots, blocked by OG. And a crowd of players over on the far side, and it's going to be a free kick to Gillingham.
Yeah, certainly. That's those are the sort of moments, though. I'm sure that the visitors will play for. That there'll be a lot of no-nonsense defending, and if they get the opportunity forward, that was a. Whilst he nearly got knocked off the ball a couple of times, you'd have to say that Odo, that was a tricky run, and they just couldn't really quite work the shooting opportunity, and then the main man up front tried to take it on, but it was blocked off.
Well, Lapsley now trying to go forward, trying to get a little bit of space, forced wide, so due to some good defending from McDonald, goes out of play.
Yeah, Lapsley's done well there, but that is a problem for Gills. The midfielders going beyond the ball, going beyond the striker, because the 3 lads that are in behind him, not necessarily the quickest over the turf, so they're going to have to get quite close to Bond to then be able to go beyond him if there's a flick on. Fine taken short.
With OG to Williams and back to OG on the left-hand side, trying to get past Odo. And the best option he can do is get it off Odo and out of play. I think he's done exactly that. It is a corner.
Yeah, I think he bought a ticket for the raffle there, OG, and got first prize.
A couple of latest scores. Maidstone have taken the lead at Chippenham Town. Connor Kelly with that goal on 14 minutes. Sittingbourne 1, Ashford Town, Middlesex 0 in the FA Trophy. In the Isthmian League, Chatham 100% record 0. Grey Wanderers bottom 3-1.
And it's Mahoney to take this corner. Gillingham's third of the game. He's taken all 3 from both sides of the pitch. In it goes now. Headed away, though, by the Harrogate defence, Liam Gibson. Gillingham getting the second ball back and going well there. Left-hand side, ball in. George Lapsley's header over the top. It was Conor Mahoney going down that left-hand side from that, staying that side because of the corner. Got a very decent ball in. Lapsley had timed his run well. Just got underneath it somewhat.
Yeah, I think the initial corner wasn't the greatest. Didn't get past the front post. But Gills recycled possession, and that's one that if it's your lucky day, Malone has hammered it across the face of goal. Lapsley's thrown himself at it. Yeah, if it's your day, they flick past the keeper and flash into the net. Went over the bar, unfortunately, but a better moment. And I think, as we said, Gills don't create a bucket load of chances, and it's we just got to take one of them. No doubt it's going to be a goal fest now. I've said this, but you envisage that this game could be fairly low scoring.
First goal, very important. You would think in a game like this. It's Harrogate now in possession with a ball attempted to go over the top of the Gills defence. Very much in control of that one, stopping Odo getting to the ball. It goes back to Turner, who just rolls it out to the man in front of him, Masterson, to Alexander on the right-hand side. And we played 60 minutes on BBC Radio Kent, and it's Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town 0. This is Malone on the left-hand side. Lapsley trying to get into a little bit of space. That option not necessarily available. And OG and Masterson, and patient build-up from...
there was good movement there from Mahoney, actually. Came off the right flank into a space alongside Bon and was calling for it, but didn't get the delivery.
Well, this time it's a long ball from Masterson, looking for Bon. Cut out, though, by Gibson. Second ball won there by Mahoney. He sort of tried to knee that into the path of a Bond, but it's the defender who's done his job there, Liam Gibson, coming back into the side today, left back. He's lost possession now. There's Mahoney again. Short one laid off there to Lapsley, trying to feed it through to Mahoney on that right-hand side, McKenzie on that right-hand side rather, gets a ball in. Lapsley is there on the edge of the box, is Sean Williams. Little pass from him, and it could be a shot left-hand side, only just wide. It was deflected wide from the decent effort from Scott Malone, and it's going to be another Gills corner.
Yeah, really good awareness there, Gills. McKenzie, a good run to get the cross in, and it's looked for the world as though Williams the captain was going to pull the trigger, laid it off to Malone. He looks a pretty decent footballer for a fullback, and it was a brave block. Lad just threw himself in front of it, the deflection could have gone absolutely anywhere, but went wide of the post. But Gills very much on the front foot, probably as we expected. But as we know, it's all about putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's probably as near as we've come.
Corner again, left-hand side, taken by the left foot of Connor Maloney. Gets it just towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and as has happened to all the corners so far, it's headed away by a Harrogate player and up towards Odo, who's battling OG for pace. Williams goes back to do some defending. Between them, they managed to stop
There's
the
an
run.
overload in the middle.
Far down towards Falari, and that's a run forward there towards Armstrong. Might have been offside, he got on the end of it, but he wasn't. It just didn't quite make a connection. Runs through to Jake Turner, but that was good play from the visitors, Harrogate.
Yeah, I mean, Odo's carried it seemingly down a bit of a cul-de-sac on the left-hand side. Check back inside. Suddenly there's players running through midfield, and really, you know, at this level, a professional level, fortunately, that was a very poor pass because he had a huge space to roll that forward into for Armstrong. You know, he had to then try and control quite a difficult pass when it should have been just rolled into his path, and between the two centre-backs, well, two defenders, in fairness, OG was out wide. That's the sort of thing that Harrogate will play for. We played 18 minutes, and out of nowhere they could have got their main striker clean through on goal.
It's what they've done. It's how they've got the results they have since they became a league side. Really, that sort of style of play. Here's OG now. Alexander putting his hand up just in front of us, but that will need a long diagonal ball. He gets it by the more orthodox route of a pass along the ground from Conor Masterson and tries to run at the Harrogate fullback Gibson. And he try and get across, and he's forced backwards. Plays that there towards Mahoney, who gets the ball to the edge of the area. Williams gets a head down. Williams with another chance, and just made it being clipped, but doesn't go down. Goes out of play, but it's a goal kick. It was Williams who got the last touch, and that's gone out of play, and it's Harrogate back in possession.
Yeah, that was intelligent movement, though, because I think that, you know, Alexander's got into quite an advanced position. But then what do? You know, if you hang a cross up, there aren't that many players in there that you think are going to go and attack it. I mean, Nichols, we know, isn't perhaps the tallest, but he's quite cute about the positions he takes up. You know, I think at the moment, you know, if it's Bourne or perhaps Lapsley or even Williams, you know, Johnny Williams coming to join, it's going to be quite difficult for them to win a first header in that situation. And Johnny Williams has come short. And on another day, he gets the luck of the bounce of the ball and he's got a shooting chance. Instead, it's ricocheted off him and gone out for the goal kick.
Gillingham trying to start another attack, but it's cut out in the midfield. Liam Gibson on the left-hand side in possession. Just to play that towards the midfield, towards Thompson. And back now there towards Rob McDonald. Rob McDonald plays that one on, looking for Odo. It should be Alexander's ball and Diaz. Heads out to the path of Masterson, who plays that one long. That's going to have to be one heck of a chase for Macaulay Bonne. I think the keeper probably be the favourite, and he is. So back into the arms of Harrogate's goalkeeper Mark Oxley.
Yeah, so in these conditions, that's a bit of a lung buster, isn't it, to have to make those sort of runs. Really cute header, I have to say, from Alexander in a defensive position. I mean, you'd have to say, on the balance of the first 20 minutes, Odo looks the player that might unlock the Gills defence. I know they're perhaps looking to Armstrong to go and score the goals, but he looks the threat down here in front of Alexander. But Gills, you know, we've had some better moments, but you know, the visitors, I'm sure, you know, this is exactly what they would have seen the game panning out like.
Gibson inside there towards George Thompson. George Thompson to Josh Falkingham on the in the centre circle. Is that one short to the central defender Anthony O'Connor, who plays a ball.
Crikey,
what was that? I don't know. It was looking for Armstrong or maybe an overlapping fullback, but neither were anywhere near being the recipient of that pass. Gillingham getting it back now with Scott Malone.
Yeah, that was thankfully a truly dreadful pass. So Gills get gifted back possession, but this is the sort of situation we find difficult. That you know, they've got their banks of players, you know, and they can go and sort of gently press the Gills back four, but then say, you know, we've got 10 outfield players behind the ball, you know, play through us, and that's something we do find difficult.
Well, we're trying to do that now, though, with Lapsley forward there towards Macaulay Bonne. Lapsley continues his run, so does Malone on the left-hand side, and he gets a touch off a Harrogate defender, and it's going to be another corner.
Yeah, I think that yeah, there was some good movement. Threaded the ball through. Suddenly there's a couple of players linking up. A little bit telegraphed. We were waiting for Malone to come and make the charge down the left flank. I'm not sure it was too much for him to hit in the middle, to be perfectly honest, but you know, he's drawn the contact from the defender, got Gills the corner. Haven't been the greatest delivery. I think Mahoney's tried to drill one or two rather than float them up. But
it's the left fullback who's actually on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, so I think it's cleared pretty much every single one. That's Liam Gibson, the 30, a bit higher that time. but a little bit too far towards Williams' right-hand side. Gillingham do retain possession, though, as it found Williams, the man of the sort of the back of the penalty area. Ball forward, though, and it's cleared forward by Harrogate, off a Gillingham player. Harrogate throw.
A couple of goals not very far geographically from each other, but it's Bromley 1, Maidenhead United 0. Michael Cheek with that goal in 18 minutes. The Ravens looking to make it 3 wins in a row and 6 unbeaten. Welling 0, Bath City 1. Jordan Thomas with that goal after 20 minutes. Here on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub, about halfway through the first half of Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town 0. Your commentary team, Peter Lloyd and firstly Matt Davison.
Well, Gillingham have had an awful lot of possession so far. As I said, 0-0 as we're into the second quarter of the game now. A little header on there by Bond for Williams, and Bond just off sort of either side of the ball or his footing a little bit there, and Harrogate getting the ball back.
Yeah, just in that last Gills corner, if Sean Williams perhaps was an instinctive goal scorer, I think he would have been going to attack that corner, seeing it was going over players' heads. Unfortunately, he didn't. He waited for it, and once it bounced up, he's then struggling to control it, and it's all closed down. But we've worked a position where the man beyond the far post was completely free.
Gibson in possession for Harrogate. Harrogate getting the ball back due to a wayward pass from the Gillingham goalkeeper Jake Turner, and now it's with Daly. Daly playing that one inside to Falkingham, and now to Thompson.
Switch it, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Huge
all the way
space
down the right-hand side, and that's the fullback Ramsey. That's got a lot of space, but I think Malone is probably at the end of that run when he goes anywhere near an attacking possession. Ramsey plays that one back towards Falkingham.
Again, there you think that Odo looks the one player in the Harrogate team who might go past people. That was crying out for the fullback to really commit Malone, and he hesitant and waited and disappeared. There's a big space again.
Exactly, Daly over that right-hand side, and it's Ramsey with a deep cross. Probably too much height on it. Odo might be able to keep that one in play. He's given up on that one. It's going to be a little bit too much weight on it. And now to play for a...
I think we can have a little stoppage here, are we?
Break. I don't wonder what the stoppage was for, but it makes perfect sense.
You were looking forward to this tomorrow, I presume, Matt Carl.
Indeed, yeah. We can grow tomatoes in the box normally at Canterbury for Kent against Nottinghamshire, starting at 10:30. I think you might be able to fry an egg on the desktop perhaps tomorrow. You might try that. More pertinently, the football right now. Mason have taken a 2-0 lead at Chippenham Town now. Sol Wanjo Smith has doubled Stone's lead away from home. Said the players just coming across for some drinks now here on BBC Radio Kent. Tactically for Gillingham, we've just seen a couple of times when there was a lot of room down the right-hand side. Is that because it's not like for like both flanks, Peter, because Johnny Williams doesn't chase back in the same way perhaps as Conor Mahoney does on this side? Yeah,
I just think that in some respects, maybe because of his experience, and maybe that's a bad thing, Malone will sometimes slightly overcover. So he'll come in, OG this time last week was probably not top of the manager's Christmas card list up at Grimsby. So Malone also, he thinks like a fullback, but also thinks a bit more like a centre-back as well.
So he comes narrower.
So he comes narrower, whereas Alexander is a fullback. There are certain players in this team, and Malone would be one of them. Mackenzie would clearly be another who could play in both roles. Alexander is a fullback at first, second and third, and so he perhaps holds a natural position. And I guess equally because a lot of their, what attacking play there has been from the visitors, a lot of that has come through Odo on their left-hand side. That naturally just perhaps brings us across even without thinking about it. But you're quite right that, I think that both the shall we call them the wide midfielders, Mahoney and Johnny Williams, they're not necessarily that defensively minded. And I think that, a lot of teams, again, if they scout Gillingham, will think if Johnny Williams is playing left side of midfield, he perhaps won't come back and fill the space quite as readily as Mahoney.
The drinks break is over. Throw-in will come very shortly. 26 minutes gone of Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town. And the movers and shakers in League 2 this afternoon are Swindon Town, or Swindon Town Boo, as Gillingham fans know them. Swindon 3, Sutton 0 now. Here it's goalless.
With Gillingham on the attack with Lapsey trying to play a ball through Williams, Johnny Williams, that is. I should make that clear each time. Plays a... to runs at the defenders, but they clear the ball away. It's now played back there to Conor Masterson. He might leave that to Turner, and Turner just saying keep possession. And
you just wonder that from a Gill's point of view, there's no doubt at all that Mahoney is a quality player, and it's whether we can get him on the ball in the right areas that he can then, with the right movement from teammates, he can pick the pass to open things up.
Well, now here's Odo trying to go forward for Harrogate on the left-hand side for them, running at Alexander, who's holding his ground for the moment. The option he's got there is Armstrong, who's got an opportunity, and it's tackled by OG. It could be a chance, though, for Larin. Gets the ball out there towards Ramsey on that right-hand side, by which time the Gills defence have got their shape back. But it is still Harrogate in possession. That's Gibson on the left-hand side. Odo making himself available too. He's going to try and run at Shea Alexander. Probably prefer to go inside. Instead he runs into Alexander, which gives him the chance to get it back to his goalkeeper, Turner.
Yeah, I think that that previous saute forward, Odo, I mean, there's always he might be throwing you a trick. He's going to go on the outside, but he's all right foot. So Alexander knows really he's going to want to come inside in that situation. But they created a little bit of space, and
long ball there just taken there by Turner. If he not got that correct, Armstrong would have been putting him under pressure, but he was quite comfortable. Yeah,
you just think that is there a lack of confidence there, because when the ball broke to the edge of the box, that was crying out to take a shot on and take a touch, look for somebody else, don't take responsibility. I guess we should say good, because it means that half an opening quickly disappeared. But they're just really sort of small warning signs for the Gills that we're finding it difficult to break the visitors down. At the moment, Mahoney's gone central just to try and give them something different to look at. Bond's gone to the right.
He has there. There is Mahoney now just collecting that pass. Little backheel attempted into the path of Alexander, but it's cut out though by Gibson for the visitors Harrogate. Oh, now they've given the ball away almost there. It's going to go back to the goalkeeper. It was a pass back across the defence, cut out by George Lapsey, and back to the Harrogate goalkeeper.
Yeah, very, very careless bit of play from the visitors. On another day, Lapsey gets the touch and it falls for Bon. They were a little bit fortunate, I would suggest, there, Harrogate. That would have been a really cheap goal to have given away. We're just approaching the half-hour mark, and I suspect that Harrogate will not be too unhappy. They're fairly limited ambitions.
And a long ball for them. Masterson should be the favourite and does win that one. Alexander heads that one out to play on this near side for a throw-in.
There's a goal at Longmead, Tunbridge against Taunton. They were 1-0 down, the Angels. Which way is this one gone? Matt Eastley.
Make that 2-0 down now, Matt. And it was a wayward throw by the usually reliable Johnny Henley straight to a Taunton player, slid it into Sims Burgess. Sims Burgess drew Henley again, slid it past him. Tunbridge Angels 0, Taunton Town 2.
Harrogate on the attack here at Priestfield.
With Ramsey on the right-hand side, they took the throw-in and have kept possession ever since, and they're just playing it around the midfield and back four at the moment. That's McDonald to Gibson on the left, Gibson forward to Odo, also on that left-hand side. Little touch from him, tried to lay that one off towards Daly, doesn't really work, and pushed it out of play, and it's going to be a Gillingham throw deep in their own half.
Yeah, I think that Harrogate just thinking, we've got a bit of a shout here. We've drawn any sort of, or dealt with any sort of early storm from the Gills. We've gone to half an hour, haven't been overly tested. They'll say their game plan they're executing. That's a good turn from Odo.
Did very well to get there away from Bond, but then ran into a Gills player. There was a foul there, which was just.
I think the reaction of Sean Williams, the captain, who committed the foul, possibly gives away that it was a foul. No complaints whatsoever. Just tripped him. Odo felt the contact. Down he goes. You wonder that. They're not overcommitting here, are they, at this week? They're taking it short.
Well, no, they're certainly not throwing the centre-backs into the, underneath.
They don't want to come back, obviously.
No, exactly. They're just sort of passing it around and just keeping possession. But this is Daly now going forward for them. Odo is available left-hand side. Ball coming in, headed out of play there by OG. And if he'd got the direction right, that could have been rather dangerous, but he did, and I'm not sure whether that was entirely necessary to do.
Well, you think there that he's looking to head it the way he's facing, he'll head it out for a throw-in, maybe sort of level with the 6-yard box. I'm not sure if he had his 50p head on there, because that didn't miss the near post by very much at all. There's no way Turner would have reacted. A corner for the visitors, and they'll feel, these are the sort of chances maybe.
It's Harrogate's first corner towards the far post, and they do actually win the first header and the second, but OG gets the ball away there for Gillingham, only as far as Ramsey in the centre circle. Ball from him there. Thompson gets it back, and it could be dangerous, but it's cleared away there by the Gills defence. Comes back there towards
you'd have to think
Ramsey,
at the moment Harrogate will be very happy with the way the game is going, and it's Gills, how are we going to change it? How are we going to make it different? Yeah, that's where you need your quality players on the ball, and that's how the three playing in behind Bonn, unfortunately thus far finding it difficult to make an impact.
This is Johnny Williams going forward. Malone is available left-hand side, might be the only option for him. He does find Malone there. He gets the ball back, and be across now from the left-hand side in there towards Lapsley. Can't get it fully under control, and that's going to be cleared away there by Harrogate. They're trying a long one down towards the right-hand side, and this is Folarin going past. Oh, that's an important challenge going in by OG. Had to get that one completely right. Well, that could have been a penalty, but it's a corner, and good defending from the Gills central defender.
You have to say that is not the first time this season that he has pulled out a quite stupendous last-ditch challenge. He seems to positively revel in them, and there was a real burst of pace from the Harrogate player. It looked like he got beyond him, and he just snaked out a leg. As you say, he's got to get it right. Anything else, and it's a penalty. Again, they're the sort of situations I guess the visitors are playing for. They'll sit, and suddenly there's a chance for someone to inject a bit of pace, go beyond the ball, and but for last-ditch challenge, could have been a chance.
Thompson then taking this corner for Harrogate, but it's taken very comfortably by the Gillingham goalkeeper, Jake Turner. No hurry to release the ball.
Well, to be fair, Gills got everyone back, so there's no one to release it to as such. But Gills, it's whether we can sort of get the ball moving through midfield. It was something we found with Leyton Orient on Tuesday night, that they could find space and change the angle on occasions. It's something that we don't find quite so easy to play through teams on the floor. And looking at the setup we've got today, that should be the sort of number one requirement. That's going to be a foul, and I suspect a card.
Johnny Williams is the culprit for catching Falkingham late, and the result of it all will be a free kick just inside the Gillingham half.
I don't think there are going to be too many complaints there. I think he...
No, don't think we need a call back from the PGMOL for that one.
No, I think it's fair to say that Johnny Williams got there as quick as he could, but that was just too late.
A couple of goals going in. It's Chatham 0, Cray 2 now. Chatham 5 wins out of 5 at the top of the Eastern Premier table to start this game. Cray Wanderers in the bottom 3. Cameron Thompson has got the second goal there. The physio coming on here at Priestfield. The FA Trophy, it's Ramsgate 1, Northwood 0. Medialito with that goal. Back to the Eastern Premier. Folkestone have taken a 1-0 lead at Lewis. David Smith with that one after 35 minutes. And it's East Grinstead 0, Sheppey 1 in the FA Trophy. Trophy looks to be doing pretty well for Kent sides this afternoon from a quick look across the board.
Yeah, I think the not quite so clever in the league side of things, unfortunately. I'm thinking that the mini crisis at Chatham, they can't really call for the manager's head, so I think he's the owner as well, isn't he?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, they're beaten, was it 5-1 by Ramsgate in the FA Cup, and rested a few players in that one. But yeah, 2-0 down in this one. Things looking much better, I suppose, in National South, you'd say, for Maidstone, trying to break into the top 7, the top of the Kent sides going into this game in 10th. Tunbridge are 2-0 down at home. Welling are 1-0 down at home. Elsewhere, Dover are 1-0 down at home as well. Dartford have gone behind at St Albans City, I see there as well. So it's been a really rough start the season for Darts. Back here at Priestfield, Gillingham trying to break down Harrogate, but it's Harrogate, the Yorkshire side, with an attacking free kick now, 35 minutes gone, goalless.
Justin from the right-hand side, taken by George Thompson, and it's straight, well, not straight in the arms of Turner, who punches that one, but it's just as effective. Just gets it away from goal to Mahoney, and now to Sean Williams. Johnny Williams available left-hand side, so is Malone. And options for Malone, where it's going to go back to Sean Williams, and Gillingham getting their attacking shape back.
This is where we have a slight problem, that when the impetus there is we went over halfway, we need to have someone offering to keep momentum of the attack going. As soon as it checks back there and goes back to the centre-backs, takes the momentum out of it, and then the visitors get really set. And then the chances of finding space are greatly reduced.
Falkingham having to wait his obligatory 30 seconds before coming back on, and he does. I'm sure he's moving that comfortably, but well enough to continue the game. And Gillingham are in possession now with the ball from Shea Alexander up there towards McCordy Bond. 2 men around him, goes out of play, does very well to win a throw on this near side.
Just to say, no VAR in National League South, but someone's trigger finger has got a little bit itchy. It's 0-0 St Albans and Dartford. They did have the ball in the net, St Albans, but it was ruled out. So there we go. Went to wherever it is they do the adjustments now.
The assistant, that's all you got. Here's Mahoney now, and hefty challenge there from the number 12 Falarin, which I think initially I thought he'd got away with, but it was only because it looked like the Gills may have been in possession. Referee now does give Gillingham a free kick, and 8 minutes to go to half-time. Still waiting for either side to have a shot on target.
We certainly are, yes. That's Gills had a couple off, and some blocks. Probably the closest still Gills have come has been when Malone looks like we did pull the trigger, and it was blocked and diverted just wide for a corner.
Either OG or Alexander, the pair of them at the moment still discussing who's going to take it.
Get a
Alexander. Well, I think the referee first of all is just checking that there's no illegal pushing and shoving on the edge of the area. It is played back in over the top of Bonn, and Harrogate do get the ball away. In fact, they win themselves a free kick. I wonder actually whether Odo might have been in possession when he blew that and could have played an advantage, but maybe he wasn't in full control. So the free kick will be taken by Harrogate inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, it was a long way to go for Odo, wasn't it? From midway inside his own half, the referee looked just half a look almost to decide there'd be an advantage. Decided to put it back. Fouled by Lapsley on the edge of the box. No complaints about that. And I say it's a hot afternoon. It's not one where you want to play a high energy pressing game. And Gills a bit betwixt and between here, not playing really the high energy pressing game, which you can fully understand. But as a result, Harrogate have sort of got themselves well and truly got a foothold in this game without looking particularly threatening.
Yeah, they're not looking threatening, but also they are looking comfortable at the back at the moment. Gillingham don't seem to be some way from scoring. I mean, so do Harrogate, but
you wonder about the fitness levels and match fitness levels of the guys that are on the bench. There are some players that potentially could come on and make a difference.
Shea Alexander, right-hand side, gets away from Thompson. Could be an opportunity now. This goes outside. Just tried to deliver a ball. Lapsley wants to be on the end of it. So does Macaulay Bonn. There is Lapsley. And it only just goes wide. Very, very close there for Malone to score. Wow, that was very, very close to scoring. Bonn was involved. Lapsley was involved. And in the end, without really knowing much about it, Malone sort of got a touch to it, which dribbled at very low pace just past the post.
Yeah, they certainly got themselves in an awful tangle there, the visitors' defence. When the ball was nodded down, Lapsley just nipped in, really flicked it against Malone. I mean, it really has hit him. And if that rolls in, well, it's probably time to go and do your lottery numbers. But at the same time, just dribbled wide of the post. But out of nowhere, a little bit of quality from Alexander, a ball into a dangerous area. And, on another day, to some extent, you could potentially fluke a goal there.
That's Falarin on the right-hand side, being crowded out a little bit by the Gills defensive players. Challenge going in there from Lapsley, puts it out of play, and Harrogate getting a throw. 5 minutes to go to the break. It is still Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0. And perhaps the game we expected, really, so far, isn't it, with Harrogate? Well, yes, Gibson has managed to sort of fall over and get his footing back and to stop that going for a throw. And there's a ball down the line there from McDonald, which Odo tries to run onto, but it well gone out of play.
Yeah, it was not particularly good ball forward. One of the Harrogate lads got a bit of a problem.
Well, that, I think, is Fulkingham, who had the injury earlier on, the foul by Johnny Williams. So he's only just received treatment. The fact he's gone down for a second time does perhaps put some doubt over his further participation in the game.
The other players probably not too distraught about this because they're replenishing their fluids somewhat. And understandably so, let's be fair. I mean, it's... these guys are charging around at some speed and in pretty baking conditions.
I was trying to think that there was a really, really hot day last season. It was in early August. I looked up the date and I know exactly when I was because I was at a game at Slough, which is on a hot day. You don't want to be at 3G pitch and metal stands all the way around. It sort of made it feel like it was more like 45 degrees and 35 degrees. I looked at where Gillingham were that day, Tranmere away. Was it as hot as this?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, I mean, last year I think the temperatures were higher than this. But yes, that was the advantage. There is there's always a bit. You're not far from the water, so there's a little bit of breeze helps you out.
I was going to say jump in.
I'm not sure. I think I could make some comments about the environmental safety of the Mersey at this point, so it's probably best I don't.
Yeah, for a public service announcement, I think we should make it known that you probably shouldn't jump into the Mersey at any time of year, hot or cold.
Yeah, it looks like the lads run his race here.
Well, it does a bit. Let's just see what options they've got.
They're sorting out.
Levi Sutton is a central midfield player. He could come on unless they wanted to perhaps have a bit of a fiddle around and slightly change tactics at all. But no, he is done, the captain, Josh Hawkingham.
Yeah, there's a little bit like the substitution of Nichols last week at Grimsby, that this close to half-time, it's obviously not great, because you'd sometimes sort of say, let's just try and tough it out. But
Sutton is the man coming on.
They're going to bring on Sutton, which is probably not too big a surprise. But Gills, well, we're going to have a bit of stoppage time as a result of that, if nothing else. We've got about 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And I think for Neil Harris, he'll be thinking about possibly what we can do slightly differently in the second half. I mean, let's hope we go and score a goal now in the time that remains. But I think that the fact there have been no shots on target from either team, it'll be the visitors that'll be entirely the happier about that. And from Gilles' point of view, sort of Malone has been the most dangerous player from left back, which possibly tells its own story.
Free kick now to Harrogate. So Levi Sutton comes in. He had actually played in that position for the last 2 games. Former Bradford player. Falkingham's a man who comes off. Falkingham actually scored in the FA Trophy final in 2020 against the mighty Concord Rangers, the only team ever to win the FA Trophy as a Football League side. It got delayed due to COVID, and strictly it is the 2020 Trophy final, but it was played the following year. Long kick there by the Harrogate goalkeeper, Mark Oxley. Nowhere near either of its intended targets, either Armstrong or Folarin on the right-hand side, and it's taken by Jake Turner. Yeah,
nice and calm there from Malone. Could see what was going on. Didn't need to play the ball. Let it run through to his keeper. But, it'd be interesting to see, what crowd reaction might be if it does stay 0-0. It's
Well, Williams does well then, although he sort of took a bad step to lose. In fact, has lost possession now, but he did well initially to win it back, but never really had it under full control. And now Kane Ramsey trying to get forward there for the visitors. That's Folarin on the right-hand side. He's got Armstrong in the middle if he can find him. He's also got Ramsey available to his right-hand side. He shakes off one challenge, tries to go inside, but runs into the path of Malone, who clears that one away up towards Macaulay Bonne, who I'm sure is going to win a free kick for that.
I don't think he is.
It's not. It's going to be climbed over. But
I think that the referee's got that about right. I think you could have just as easily have said, did Bonne make any attempt whatsoever to play the ball? And I think the answer is a resounding no. He just stood there, and the lads climbed over him, literally, over the top of him, and gone and won his header. So, I think the referee, if Bonne had made a little bit more of a gesture towards it, he might have got something.
Bonne wins that header, tries to head into the path of Lapsley. Harrogate in a little bit of trouble. They'll own some possession in their own final third, but it's going to have to play for a throw. 5 minutes we're going to have of additional time. I suppose we've had a couple of breaks and the injury, so no surprise.
Michael Cheek has got a second for Bromley, and they lead by 2-0 at home to Maidenhead United. Now Ashford Town, imposters from Middlesex, have equalised at Sittingbourne. Folkestone have a 2-0 lead at Lewis now. Ibrahim Olatade with that goal, former Tunbridge and Maidstone from memory. And the FA Trophy, it's South Park 0, Erith and Belvedere 1. Chris Dixon with that goal.
There's a blast from the past.
Who famously was the top scorer in Gillingham one year and Player of the Year, having only had a short loan spell at the club. Such was
Well, I can remember a certain Mark Stimpson being on loan from Tottenham when he had long blonde hair. And he came third in the Player of the Year, and he was on loan for about 15 games in the autumn as well. Possibly that said something about what a successful season that wasn't.
I think it was Mark Stimpson who'd signed Dixon. Now it's a chance for Gillingham to go forward in the closing minutes or so of this first half, with Mahoney now on that right-hand side. He just takes one bad touch, goes out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with himself there. He'd sort of back himself in a 1-against-1 against most defenders. In fairness, he's up against their main striker. But he's gone to go on the outside, got a horrid touch, and then they can just let it drift over the touchline for a goal kick. And we've still got about 3.5 minutes of the additional time. Be lovely for Gilles to get an opening goal in this game, but this is another one of the games that we're going to see an awful lot of, I suspect, where it's can we break teams down, and if we find that difficult in the early phases, they'll start to get confident and back themselves, and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle on occasions.
Alexander did well there. Looked like he was going to put that out for a throw, but he managed to keep the ball in play and, well, I was going to say keep possession, but now Gillingham have lost possession in their midfield with Sutton back to McDonald. One little touch from the left foot of McDonald to Gibson on the left-hand side.
It's very difficult in these circumstances to really put the energy of the press on.
Well, the keeper, Turner, comes out, heads that one away from the path of Odo, and it's going to be out of play for a Harrogate throw on this near side, about midway inside the Gillingham half.
I think that was applauded by his teammates because he just played it really, so it was running down the side of the penalty area, so Turner couldn't come out and catch it, and just heads it out. They get a throw in, they say not that far from the edge of the penalty area. Again, valuable seconds being chewed up as we head towards half-time.
Gibson short to Odo, back to Gibson again. One touch to control, tries to go inside between a couple of Gillingham players. There's that one there inside towards Folarin, and now it's a chance now, and Ramsey just control. Looks like he's going to try and shoot, but never really had that under full control, and shoots well into the Rainer men.
Well, that doubles the number of shots that Harrogate have had. There was one that Armstrong on the turn that was blocked almost immediately by OG. And that one, which trades descriptions might be wanting to inquire if we call that one a shot. It did miss by some way, but I'm sure, from a Harrogate point of view, they'll be quite happy with how the game is going. From a Gills point of view, it's just sort of, at the moment it's plugging away with this team and this setup, playing for the one moment maybe, and that's a tough ask on occasions.
Yeah, perhaps fear whether this game might actually be settled by a mistake as the energy levels start to sap in the conditions, but it's turning out.
You'd wonder whether people like Clark and Nadson could be really unpleasant.
Little flick on there, chance for Williams, should be the keepers though. Not really a chance for Williams, but it almost ran to him, and it's taken by Oxley, the Harrogate Town goalkeeper. We're in the final minute of the first half of stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Yeah, so I just wonder that there are perhaps some players that Jules could bring on that, particularly in the last 15-20 minutes, with energy levels dipping on the pitch from the starting 11s, they really could cause the opposition a problem.
Nice little ball there from Mahoney, finds Bon, who just sort of prods it towards goal, and off the defender, well played. I do wonder what he was sort of doing with that one, but yeah, did the only thing really available to him. And in the last seconds of the first half, Gillingham have their sixth corner of the game.
Yeah, certainly. The last one we worked a position where the captain had a bit of space beyond the far post, but just sort of a little bit hesitant. Do I go to the ball? Do I wait for it? And it bounced up too high on him. I hope that if Sean Williams, if that happens again, he'd back himself to go and attack it. But Jules, maybe a last gasp opening goal.
Macaulay Bon under the bar, but now trying to make himself available. It's an outswinger headed away there by Harrogate, and no time for Gillingham to do anything with it because that is the half-time whistle. Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0. We're still waiting for our first shot on target. It's exactly the game, I guess, that we thought we'd get, with Harrogate being very hard to break down, and on occasion trying to catch Gillingham on the break. But level at the break, Peter, and did you see anything there that suggests the second half might be any different?
Well, I think possibly Gills fans will be looking to the bench to see how sharp and how fit are certain players, because in many respects there's quite a lot of attacking threat and direct attacking threat on the bench. The starting 11 are found it difficult. As we expected, Harrogate will sit deep when they're not in possession. Gills find it difficult to break teams down at the best of times. You wonder at the moment that I'm not suggesting there's going to be wholesale changes at half-time, but it could be that the quality Gills have on the bench in the last 15-20 minutes could be the decisive factor in this game. But in the first half, I think a draw, equality is absolutely right. Neither team has particularly threatened to score. Nearest Gills have come probably is when Malone, the ball hit him and could have rolled in. The visitors have really created absolutely nothing at all. It's fairly reasonable. It's at level, but you wonder where the goal is coming from with this team. But with the bench in the last 20 minutes, that could be very different.
it did seem like the tactic that Gills were, I would say, resorting to, but they're looking to, as Harrogate stand off them, perhaps go long ball behind the defence, and that doesn't really seem to have worked at all in the first half so far. Is that a fair comment, or am I being selective with memory?
No, I think that there have been occasions only because we find it difficult to build the play through midfield. Then what do? If you haven't got if you can't thread passes through the central third, then you're going to go over the top, or you're going to aim, put a long ball towards Bond. And he did fairly well in the air, I felt, on Tuesday night on occasions. But we haven't been able to get the energy into our play in very, very hot conditions. And it's been if I can use this term, considering that it's quite warm today, it's been a little bit tepid the first half.
Thank you, Peter. I was going to say it hasn't quite caught light yet, but there we go. Maybe we shouldn't go that far. So 0-0 at half-time here. It's Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town 0 in League 2. Of course, you can get in touch with us at any time if you might want to have your say on the first half, Gills fans. On text 81333, start your text with the word Kent. You can tweet us at BBC Kent Sport, post on X if you like. You can do it exactly the same way. Or you can WhatsApp us 08000 321 333. Start your message with the word Kent at any time during the show. We'd love it if you did. It's the marquee card for the second halves of our games this afternoon. We've got online commentary of Ebbsfleet at Wealdstone, goalless so far, of Tunbridge against Taunton, the West Country side winning 2-0 at Longmead, and Dover against Weymouth. Similarly, the West Country side winning 2-0 at Crabble as well. All those available via the BBC Sport website and app. If you want to know how to get those commentaries, you've done it before, if you go to the app, there's an icon on the bottom of the page with a live guide on there. Press on that one, scroll down to Saturday's non-league commentaries, and you'll find a list. You click whichever one you want. You can do it otherwise. BBC Sport live guide into the search engine, and that will find you the same page. Click on football, today's non-league commentaries, and you will find them there. Jobs are good, but there'll be goal updates and reports from all those games into our main game here, which is Gillingham against Harrogate Town on a very warm day at Priestfield. Perhaps we need to get something to wake the crowd up from a siesta. Goalless at half-time, Gills and Harrogate in League 2, and your commentary team, Peter Lloyd and firstly Matt Davison.
Well, neither side had a shot on target, let alone a goal in the first half, and we perhaps wondered if that would be the game. It did seem to be from the earlier perhaps exchanges between these two clubs and their opponents so far this season, that it would be Gillingham perhaps on the attack, but would have to work hard to break down a stubborn visitors' defence who might try and attack Gillingham on the break. And it is really how the game has gone, but neither with any success so far. No changes in terms of the team line up start of the second half. Of course, the Harrogate side is one different to the one that started the game, with the injury to Josh Falkingham, and Levi Sutton is coming on. That means the Gillingham side is Jake Turner in goal, back four of Alexander Masterson, OG and Malone. In midfield, Robbie McKenzie and Sean Williams, and George Lapsey playing just off the striker. The wide players, Conor Mahoney and Johnny Williams, with Macaulay Bonne up front. And the Harrogate side is Mark Oxley in goal, back four of Kane Ramsey, Anthony O'Connor, Rob McDonald and Liam Gibson. In midfield now is Levi Sutton and George Thompson. Matty Daly also playing the most attacking role of the midfield three, with Sam Falare and Abraham Ado playing wide, and Luke Armstrong up front. And we're underway now. Gillingham attacking the Raynham end. Can they suck one into the back of the net? The Raynham end, and add everything they can in terms of support to try and break this deadlock. Gillingham have a throw over on the far side.
You mentioned that pre-match that these two teams' records, they've had a draw between us in the opening game, so
true.
Maybe this today, but Gills hopefully get a bit of momentum, get the crowd involved.
With a long throw from Alexander from that right-hand side. It's won, though, by Armstrong, back defending. Back to Shea Alexander on the right-hand side for the Gills, trying to get past OG. Little touch from him. Cross coming in there from Mahoney. Cleared away, though, by Harrogate. Well won there by Conor Masterson, for Gillingham being out of play for a Harrogate throw over on the far side. So, 0-0. Gillingham going into this game on the back of two league defeats, but having won in the EFL Trophy against Leyton Orient against 9 men in midweek. But
you'd wonder whether two teams this season will press the self-destruct button quite so spectacularly as Leyton Orient did on Tuesday night for us, rather gifting us a two-player advantage. Is that man Odo again causing a few problems?
Yeah, well, exactly. Odo is now by the corner flag and try and get past Masterson. Masterson making it very hard to get him a cross in. You can tell from the crowd it's a little bit quiet in the second half. Nice little ball in there towards Armstrong, but he's got his back to goal and not many options for him to do anything really with that. And it's a low shot coming in there, and that, I believe, is a shot on target coming in there from George Thompson for Harrogate Town. But it's not one that put Jake Turner, the Gills goalkeeper, under any real pressure.
No, I think Odo there stood Masterson up and then nutmegged him. And it was the right thing to lay off, but it was a pretty ordinary shot, to say the least. But I say it's just whether Gills can get a little bit of pressure and a little bit of momentum going, get the crowd involved. There's been very little for the crowd to bite on in the opening half, and just get a sort of slightly better sort of feel-good atmosphere. I don't want to imply by any means the crowd are, there's any hostility, because there isn't. But I just think try and get the crowd involved a bit more in the game, and a bit more positive going forward if we can be. And it may be that we have to, Neil will look at the bench and think, when can I bring certain players on?
Yeah, I'm sure that won't be too long, actually. There's a cross from the left-hand side. Almost evades everybody. Sutton volley that one over their own bar, put it out of play. But there's a nice little cross in there from Scott Malone from the left-hand side. Almost reached Williams, and in the end it needed a good clearance from Anthony O'Connor to put it out of play for a Gills corner.
Notice that Neil Harris applauding that because it was played at tempo. We got the ball forward, we got Malone to a good position. He put an early cross in. We had runners trying to get across defenders. Could have gone anywhere when the lads cleared it, to be perfectly honest. And suddenly the crowd are involved, and there's a bit of pressure at the Rainham end.
Left-footed corner coming in there from Mahoney towards the far post. It's headed away and played back in there by Lapsley, but a little bit too high. Lapsley, but speculative, really, a sort of volley, sort of side-facing goal, if you like, and that was never going to cause anybody any trouble.
Neither one thing nor the other, really. That one, was it? It wasn't really a shot. Didn't really give any of his teammates the remotest chance of getting on a second ball, and just drifted over the bar. I don't really count that as a shot, I'm afraid. No. But and suddenly the crowd making a bit of noise as the goalkeeper's about to take the goal kick, and as I said, there's been so little for the crowd to get involved in that first half.
Long kick is flicked on there by Armstrong, looking towards Fuller on the right-hand side. He's got either the ball or a little bit of Malone's boot in his face, but nothing for anybody to worry about. He's okay, and the result of it all is a Gills throw. Yeah,
I think he's got the ball. Malone kicked it into his face, and suddenly just that foray forward. The crowd are trying to get behind the team, trying to get involved in the game.
It's played back there by Harrogate, back to their goalkeeper. They'll clear long, goes up there towards Armstrong, who just tries to flick that one on. Important touch in, though, by Robbie McKenzie, but Harrogate do get possession back with Thompson out wide to Gibson on the left-hand side, back to Thompson and back to McDonald, who switched the ball over to the right-hand side to Ramsey. Doesn't reach him. Well cut out there by Scott Malone, who just tries to look up, see what options are available. I think the option of going too far forward, there wasn't anybody really joining the attack, so he's just tracks his run a little bit. Little 1-2 there with Williams. But Harrogate get possession back. Can Lapsley win possession back again? He does, but the second attempt, it's the Yorkshire visitors, Harrogate, who get it back there. That's Levi Sutton, ball down the line. There's nobody really on the end of that for his team. And there's a lot of time and space for Shadrach Oji to either play it back to his goalkeeper or start an attack.
Yeah, certainly, in the end, he's just played the ball into a space. That's the kindest term you can use for that. Really just passed the ball away. But Gills, and Malone, again, you'd have to say, probably the most influential attacker in the first half. Had the best efforts. Second half, that early cross already, and they're intercepting. See what's going on. He was just had the right pass, just didn't pick out his namesake.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. Just for a moment or so, when Jake Turner had the ball, we had Malone in the sort of left midfield position and Jolly Williams left back. They're swapped back over now, though, as Harrogate try to play the ball forward, but not really with any purpose. Gillingham back in possession over on the far side and kicked out of play for a Gills throw on the halfway line.
Yeah, I think that this is a day for the squad rather than the starting 11.
And a reminder of the bench, attacking players on the bench: Jayden Clark, Hasheen Addison, Tom Nichols, also called Matty MacArthur, who is he's the homegrown player in the squad, if you like, but he did very well actually when he came on for a few minutes at the end of the Leyton Orient game on Tuesday night in the EFL Trophy. He didn't look like a sort of young academy player making his debut. Can often be quite quiet in games like that. He was raring to go right from the start. Also on the bench, Max Clark, Max Emer, and the sub goalkeeper Glenn Morris.
Again, they're pretty poor. But I mean, you say really the centre back's just clearing his lines as much as anything. He's not giving his teammate Armstrong any sort of chance getting on the end of it. But certainly there's a bit of atmosphere inside Priestfield. Crowd playing their part, trying to get behind the team. Hoping, as you say, almost to suck the ball into the net at the Rainham end. We know that these two Saturday home games coming up, including today, obviously, important games just to sort of reset ourselves.
There's Johnny Williams now heading in the direction of the corner flag. Run any better than that looks like at the moment being blocked off. Plays a short ball from him to Malone. Again, the defender Ramsey is there to put the ball out of play, but it will be a Gills throw, and it's taken very quickly by Malone to Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams has Sean Williams just behind him and finds him with a cheeky little back heel, floated in there by Williams towards Macaulay Bond. The flag is up though for offside against the Gills striker.
That's a pity. I think that Gills, far forward down the left flank, tried to then bring the ball back back into the sort of centre of midfield, and it was a nice little chip ball for Bond, but just a little bit careless. I think there that he didn't cotton on to the fact that he was actually stood in an offside position when the ball was played. But as I said, the crowd doing their best to get involved. They've got 7.5 minutes, already whizzed past in the second half.
And it's still Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0. Just one shot on target in the game. That was in the second minute of the second half from Harrogate, and that a pretty tame effort at that. Cleared away now by OG, out of play on this near side. Harrogate throw just in their half.
Yeah, you think that there will be a dilemma for Neil. Only he'll know the true fitness level of the players on the bench. Maybe one or two nursing knocks. How long could they do? But you do wonder that this is a game where your game, actually the Rugby Union World Cup's under, as Eddie Jones used to call them, the game changers that would come on in the latter part of the second half, and you wonder if today is one of those days.
Gills winning a free kick deep inside their own half for a foul by Sam Falarin, former Tooting and Mitcham player. And
but that's the indication. In fairness to Harrogate, having had the chance to go up there, it's not a big ground, it's not a big club by any stretch of imagination. They're one of these teams that have come out of non-league football and are really on a bit of a shoestring. So they're doing well to stay with it.
Yeah, they're doing well. Play like this, they're very hard to beat. And last year flirted a little bit with relegation, but in the end we're absolutely fine. There's OG for Gillingham, playing that one back to Turner. And
but this again here, we don't particularly want to go long. But where are the easy options for OG? Yeah. He's got no one. We're finding very difficult to pass the ball through Harrogate, and then you're drawn into a game where you do hit a diagonal, and we're not necessarily going to win too many first. Now exactly the situation. Here comes the big diagonal.
It is. It's played forward there towards Macaulay Bond. Good run for Johnny Williams. Appeals for handball or foul from the crowd. There's Sean Williams now for Gillingham, midway inside the Harrogate half. He's got OG available on his left-hand side. He has the option of Mahoney to his left, who plays in a nice little floated ball. Should be the goalkeeper's, and is. And Harrogate get possession back.
Bromley has scored a fourth now against Maidenhead. Louis Dennis with that goal. The Ravens looking to make it 3 wins out of 3, move up the National League table after an indifferent start. They're kicking into gear there. It's still goalless here. Gillingham 0, Harrogate down 0 after 54 minutes. No more other goals in our feature games to tell you about. Burgess Hill Town 1, Hythe Town 2 in the FA Trophy is the latest score as well. It's BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub, your commentary team here at Priestfield. Peter Lloyd and firstly Matt Davison.
Don't forget, last hour of the programme, 5 till 6. We'll have all the reaction, the managers and the headline makers from this afternoon's games, and your opinions well on the text 81333, starting your message with the word Kent, or on WhatsApp 08000 321 333, also starting with the word Kent. Not much to really discuss from this game so far, unless Harrogate have other ideas now. They try to thread a pass through with Matty Daly towards one of the forward players. Gillingham do well to cut it out.
Yeah, but they moved the ball at a tempo there through the central third, and then it was only when they tried to play the killer pass, it didn't work for them. Gills finally give it to play the ball through that central third in the first place to build things up, and hence getting drawn into playing more speculative passes forward. Lapsley's just come deep. I think that there's likely to be 1 or 2 changes.
Well, Jaden Clark's the first player being prepared to come on. There may well be others in the same movement. There's a long ball forward from Gillingham, from Alexander, trying to find Bond. and chested it down. Second attempt was cut out by the defender, who clears the ball away for Harrogate, who are back in possession. Let's wonder whether, my guess would probably be maybe Williams to come off. But now here's Folarin going through the right-hand side for Harrogate, across the face of goal. Armstrong was there and got the slightest of touches.
I think they're very disappointed that they didn't get the right pass. There was a pullback there where there was a big space. Thankfully, it didn't happen. Gill's going to be making a change pretty imminently. But just the first murmurings of a little bit discontent. Who has Johnny Williams got to pass to?
Well, exactly. Bond is trying to make himself available. That one is sort of cut out, but he does manage to thread a ball past the fullback there. There's Sean Williams. Sometimes it's actually gone out of play. And they're booing because Gillingham are going backwards, but they're keeping possession. There's not really any option, and that's a bit of credit there to Harrogate for just a pressing game there. Williams tries to step over, hoping it'll run through towards Bond, but Gillingham lose possession out on this near side. This will be the change, I would have thought. So Jaden Clark to come on as Gillingham's first substitute.
Yeah, I think we're out to see that it's going to be Lapsley. So
that will mean Williams probably playing in the 10. I would imagine, and Clark playing wide.
We'll see. That's the implication initially of the case. I think that Clark will just bring. I should just stress that it's not Max Clark, by the way.
Oh yeah,
coming on.
It's Jaden Clark.
But he's giving the advice. I wonder if he's actually he's giving some information to Mahoney. But he'll bring a bit of impetus and a bit of energy to Gills possibly, which may not be a bad thing at the moment.
And Gillingham are in possession there with Colin Masterson to Shadrach Oji. Remember, Max Ema left on the bench today.
But these are exactly the situations where Gills have a problem.
Well, now it's a chance now, and Jaden Clark got away from his man there, and he puts the man on his backside and tries to go around him a second time, gets a square ball in, does well there, cleared away though, but the first bit of excitement for the Gills fans to get excited about for some time. Here's Jaden Clark again, just didn't control it, gets it back at the second attempt, he's got a chance now, but going away from goal there is Mahoney, who will just try and get a square ball there towards Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams will have to play that back and can't keep possession, and Harrogate bring the ball away, and a foul there with a yellow card there for Sean Williams. I would have thought yes, definitely. Can't be too many complaints about that one. Free kick to Harrogate.
Another incident at Dover at Crabble. Matt Gerrard, tell us what's going on.
Weymouth are down to 10 men now as well, Matt. It's the captain, Tom Beerish. He's booked in the first half. He's been sent off for this new rule of time wasting. I think he took 10 seconds longer than the referee wanted for a throw inside his half. So he's down to 10. First 10 minutes or so in the second half, it's all been Weymouth, but at least we're back to level terms on the number of players. On the pitch, it's still Dover 0, Weymouth 2.
I'm assured that St Albans have now scored at home to Dartford. Mitchell Webb with that goal. A terrible start for the season for Darts in National South. Things, I was going to say heating up, it wasn't a pun intended, but getting a little more lively here at Gills against Harrogate. Almost an hour gone here on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub.
Yes, Jaden Clark's introduction has certainly put a little bit of energy into the Gillingham side. As soon as he came on, started running at players, which we haven't really seen much of from the Gillingham side so far. As you say, we're at the hour mark and still 0-0. Yeah,
I just think that one of the things that he does need to improve in his game is not so much going past people, but it's that final ball when he pulls it back. There are occasions where he doesn't quite pick somebody out. He's hoping perhaps someone's going to be under it, whereas he perhaps needs to be making sure someone has got a real chance of getting on the end of it.
There was a long ball, which the intention of Johnny Williams to try and win a header, which he wasn't necessarily going to do due to his height. As Mackenzie slipped up there, and Harrogate winning possession back just on the halfway line. It's Daly trying to go forward there. There's Odo with a nice little ball there towards Armstrong. He's being forced down by the corner flag by the Gills defence, but he not really got too many options, but he's just going to hold play up, and challenge goes out of play. Harrogate getting a throw in, back level with the penalty area on that left-hand side for them.
Yeah, that's decent forward play. I mean, he's in an absolute cul-de-sac. Hold on to it, draw a challenge, get yourselves a throw in, keep yourselves high up the pitch.
It's Levi Sutton now getting up to Ramsey on the right-hand side. Ran into Malone, or Malone put himself in a position to stop him going forward.
Oh, that's a
and
card.
That's a yellow card. That's just stupid. You know the rules, and that is the Sutton fullback Ramsey who gets a yellow card for sort of kicking the ball a little further away from Malone than he wanted it.
Yeah, I don't think there can be many complaints. But we just heard about the sending off at Dover. you know, it's something like that that just gets you a silly yellow, and next thing you do make a wrong challenge, and you can get yourself sent off. But that injection of the substitution just brought a little bit of impetus to Gills, and if we can get him involved, and he's perhaps the one player that looks like he will go past people.
We've also got to wonder whether perhaps Ashley Nadesan might be introduced soon. We're not quite sure on the fitness of Tom Nichols. He is a named substitute today, but whether there's much intention of him
I think
coming on.
There've been a few bumps and bruises for the players in forward positions anyway, so it will be a little bit of a balancing act.
Maidenhead have got a goal back at Bromley. Not sure it's going to make a difference, but there's still a while to go in that game. Bromley 4, Maidenhead 1, Chankazimba with that one.
And here at the Priestfield Stadium, it is Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0, just past the hour mark in this game. Still waiting for Gillingham's first shot on target. Harrogate did have a fairly tame effort, but probably Gillingham have actually come nearest to scoring of the two sides. The scramble in the goal mouth that hit Scott Malone and then just dribbled wide just as the first half was coming to an end, and it's Gillingham in possession now. Jaden Clark trying to run around, trying to get into space, but it need an impressive pass from Oji to find him. He's going to try the diagonal, find Shea Alexander. Does he find him? No, over the top of him, and finds instead a man in the crowd.
Disappointed with himself there that he's put too much on that. But again, this is something that Gills do find difficult, and that's we're hoping that someone like Mahoney was going to be the player that would sort of help unlock things for us. We get the ball with our same possession of our centre backs, the opposition of everyone behind the ball, and say, well, you produce a little bit of quality through midfield, and we are finding that difficult.
Gillingham getting possession back there from that throw, but looks like Harrogate going to get that now. That's Daly with the ball there towards Odo on the right-hand side.
Sure, that's going to be another card.
Caught by Masterson, I think that is. Is it Masterson or Alexander? It is Connor Masterson.
Yeah, I don't think he's got too many complaints about that one. I think he knew what was coming there, unfortunately, and it's that man Odo again.
He's causing problems, isn't he? He's got a little bit of pace, and again, like Jaden Clark, he's perhaps his
there are two players on the pitch now that look like they might go past somebody. Free kick for Gills to defend.
It's taken then from that left-hand side. Not a great deal of height on it. Dealt with easily, though, by Sean Williams for Gillingham. And a sort of vague swipe at it there from Harrogate, headed out by Jaden Clark, and there could be an opportunity if Macaulay Bond can get on this one first, and he can, and Clark is going to go on an overlapping run, and Macaulay Bond chooses the wrong ball entirely, because there's nobody anywhere near where he played that ball.
Yeah, that was pretty horrid. You see he's pirouetted, he wants to play the ball down the line for Jaden Clark to run onto, didn't get his feet organised. Double change for the Gills. It looks very imminent, and a change for the visitors as well.
Well, we're going to see Ashley Nadesan in just a moment or so as well, and is that Tom Nichols as well who's going to be coming on? Yeah, so, and Sims is going to be coming on as well. He's I think normally plays right back, the Harrogate player, but now it's Gillingham trying to go forward, so they're going to have changed sort of 3 of their 4 forward players by the time this next substitution is complete. But there's Malone, little ball in there towards Mahoney. And now Harrogate win possession back with Levi Sutton. I'm guessing Nadesan would come on for Macaulay Bond. Often a bit isolated there, but he's sort of winning the ball when he gets up there, isn't it? But often nobody to sort of win and get the ball to.
It's only the players and the manager will know what the sort of fitness levels are like.
Yeah.
For certain individuals in this heat. Gills trying to get a bit of tempo, trying to get the crowd involved.
Well, they took the free kick quickly, and I wonder whether Neil Harris is actually intending to make the substitution. But now Gillingham are trying to go forward there with Malone, and that's Jaden Clark. They're not necessarily on the same wavelength, and well,
it was a poor pass from Malone.
I think subs being readied. We've got a goal at Ebbsfleet's game at Wealdstone. Charles Webster.
Yeah, 63 minutes on the clock, and the Fleet have gone behind. It was a great strike by Tevon Campbell, the former Gillingham player. He shot from just inside the area and beat Mark Cousins, and his heroics earlier in the game couldn't keep it out. It's Wealdstone 1, Ebbsfleet 0.
And here these changes being made. Nadesan and Nichols coming on for Gills, and Macaulay Bond looks like one at least coming off.
That's for Nichols. Sorry, that's for Nadesan.
And just to let you know, the Harrogate changes, Toby Sims coming on for Kane Ramsey, a straight swap at right back. So, Nichols and Nadesan are going to be
Is it Johnny Williams is the other player?
I'd imagine that will be my guess. Yeah, so Williams is coming off, so at 67 minutes in the game, the next set of substitutions are made.
Drinks break for everybody. Gills are going to... Ultimately, the game will restart eventually, but Gills have certainly made those changes, so it looks as though Addison will play as the man out-and-out attacking player, and that Nichols will now sit in behind him with Jaden Clark to the left and Mahoney to the right.
Straight swaps, both of those two in the end, wasn't it, with Williams having gone to a more central role, but let's see whether Harrogate's change will do anything for them. Theirs is a defensive swap, I suppose, already, because Ramsey's on a yellow card against Clark, who's the one player who's running at Harrogate defenders, maybe. Perhaps that's the feeling there. But Harrogate now in possession. We're at the midway point of the second half. It is still Gillingham 0, Harrogate Town 0. But some changes have been made, and let's see how that changes anything. That does answer the question as to how fit Nichols is. About 23 minutes worth of play fit. Challenge going in there from OG, and it's Odo gets the final touch. Just sort of ballooned in the air, but easy take there for Jake Turner.
Yeah, so it was literally a bit of catching practice. So just wondered, again, we've now got players with impetus, and no little goal threat in the forward positions that just gives the crowd a bit of a G up as well.
Nichols, last season's top scorer, won this time, and Addison with 3 goals so far. He's joint top scorer with Mackenzie. There's a ball in there from Gillingham from the right-hand side. Almost runs to Ashley Addison, but Harrogate able to clear the ball way up to halfway. Looking for Armstrong, can't find him. One well there by Connor Masterson. Now it's Shea Alexander going forward for the Gills on the right-hand side. Could have beat a couple of players. He has got the option of Mahoney just behind him. And Mahoney, left-footed ball, nice ball in fact there towards Jaden Clark, who'd come over to the right-hand side, lays that one off, cross from Shea Alexander. They could still run though towards Sean Williams, who'd got up there. There's Malone with a little ball in, and a headed clearance there from Harrogate. They could still run though for Alexander. Plays the ball in there towards Sean Williams, and his attempt to play the ball into the path of Madison doesn't quite come off.
It didn't, but the decibel level's gone up inside Priestfield. Gills on the hurry up here, a little bit of momentum, a little bit for the crowd to bite on.
Well, what happened there was Alexander played the ball in, hit the Harrogate player who has gone down, so presumably hit him plumb in the face there.
We've got another change imminent for the treatment.
Yeah, Civi is a winger who's on loan from Middlesbrough, who's about to come on, but at the moment there's
Is it a double change?
It is. Who's that? That's another Daly, James Daly. They're unrelated. James Daly is going to be coming on as well.
Player still down for treatment. Let's go to Longmead. Tunbridge Angels against Taunton Town. Are the residents of Tunbridge feeling any happier this afternoon, Matt Eastley?
No, they're positively revolting, Matt, and so they should be, because Tunbridge Angels are performing appallingly this afternoon, and they're losing by 3-0 and it's yet another mistake, this time by Cody Lyons Foster, robbed by Nick McCooty, just come on as substitute, and he just drew Johnny Henley to him, slid the ball home. Tunbridge Angels 0, Taunton Town 3.
I wasn't being cute there. I honestly didn't know which way that goal has gone. But we are 3-0 down at Taunton, having a great start to the season. Never mind that. Player still down on the far side, having been hit by a ball coming in from a Gills player. It's a Harrogate player. There's some concern over him actually on the far side. Drinks being taken here. And we will have a couple of Harrogate substitutions, I think, but just needing to be careful, I think, with that player on the far side. Medical staff going over to him now. Gillingham looking a little bit more urgent as we talk about the football now. Peter, you were saying in the last few minutes that run as soon as Jaden Clark came on seemed to galvanise things just a bit, certainly crowd-wise.
Yeah, just got the crowd involved, and suddenly something exciting's going on, and there's a threat of a goal. I mean, we can't disguise the fact we've had 70 minutes of this game and we haven't yet had a shot on target, and that's not a great stat. One will be enough if it goes in the back of the net, that's for sure.
There's another goal at Wealdstone against Ebbsfleet, second goal of the game. Which way has it gone though, Charles Webster?
66 minutes, it's Ebbsfleet who've scored. It was a corner from Craig Tanner, the substitute, delivered perfectly for Josh Wright to score with a header, a firm header, his first goal of the season, and maintaining Ebbsfleet's record of scoring in every game. It's Wealdstone 1, Ebbsfleet 1.
Name rings a bell, Josh Wright. I can't remember where he used to play. Maybe here at Priestfield. So, as I said, still some concern for the player on the far side. Was it a ball struck hard, hit him in the face? Did it? It was a concussion.
I think Alexander was sort of, not quite point blank range, but only 4 or 5 yards away at most. And
well, stretcher's actually being prepared now, so it's perhaps more concern than initially thought. For Lauren, it's the player down, by the way. It's the wide player.
It certainly looks like to me that the player was conscious, but they're being very careful, obviously, with this concussion check and presumably trying to protect the spine as well.
Exactly. I mean, the spinal column and the neck. Obviously, if his head's been sort of, jerked back, as it may well have been by the impact, you need to be careful, because obviously however much we talk about how important football is, any sort of spinal injury can be pretty calamitous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a day at work for these guys as much as anything else, isn't it? And where are we? League Two, some scores here. Accrington 0, Mansfield 2, Wimbledon 1, Stockport 2, Colchester 1, Tranmere 0, Crawley 3, Newport 1 now, Forest Green Rovers 1, Crewe Alexandra 3, Gills 0-0 with Harrogate here, MK Dons 1, Notts County 1, Salford City 1, Walsall 1, Swindon 4, Sutton 2 and Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1. I thought they were just going to walk away with this division, but there we are. Tongue-in-cheek, firmly.
Is that Notts County or Wrexham?
Well, Notts County are leading, as you said, we're leading to start the day. Swindon Town, as I said, the main scorers at the moment, though Crewe Alexandra too have a 2-goal lead on their opponents, Forest Green Rovers as well. And our feature games, you just heard Ebbsfleet getting back into the game against Wealdstone 1-1 in the National League. That's a commentary via the BBC Sport website. And at Bromley 4, Maidenhead 1 at Hayes Lane. The reports to come at full time of that one. Tunbridge 0, Taunton 3, another online commentary game, if you can bear it, Tunbridge fans. And Dover 0, Weymouth 2. The best news we've had from that for the second half is Matt Gerrard, is it's now 10 each on the pitch. I can tell you Ireland's opening game of the World Cup has gone as expected, but if you ever heard that expression, it could be a cricket score. 82-8 against Romania. 82-8 they have won.
Was that the Sri Lanka score against?
It more or less was actually, 106 all out. Thank you, Peter. Dovetailed beautifully to an 8-wicket win for England's women in the first one-day international against Sri Lanka. We'll be talking cricket in the final hour of the programme as well, with Kent restarting their county championship campaign with 3 games to go, and crucial ones as well, as they're in the bottom 2, the relegation zone, hoping for a win against Nottinghamshire. That one starts at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Commentary, of course, as we do every ball of every game online, with regular radio reports as well tomorrow from Canterbury. We're not talking about football here because this has been a lengthy stoppage for the Harrogate player on the far side, and obviously good to see they're taking every precaution, but it has taken time. Crowd respectful as well. Perhaps chatting over the game they've seen so far, and when we do get underway, it's a question really of, I guess, Gillingham trying to put their foot on the pedal, and as you were pointing out, Peter Lloyd, as well, the restarts were coming quicker as well for Gills. They weren't taking so long. They were trying to pressurise, trying to rush Harrogate perhaps out of their defensive shape. Yeah,
we've got to do something to change the game, and we've brought on quite an attacking threat with the 3 lads that have come on are all dangerous in and around the opposition's box. And we need the game to be at a different tempo, because if it stays as it is and they've got time to get organised and get their shape, and then we get pushed into a situation where one of our centre backs is just launching a diagonal, well, it's going to probably be very difficult for us to make inroads. We need the game to be at a tempo, get the likes of Naddison with the opportunity to run in behind, get people like Jaden Clark in possession to take people on.
Still this injury being seen to here, so let's go to Wealdstone against Ebbsfleet. I gather a penalty and a sending off. Tell us about it, Charles Webster.
Yes, it's going to be Tevon Campbell to take the penalty following a second yellow card offence by Chris Solly, who's been dismissed. And Tevon Campbell, he's just about to run up on the spot. Here he comes, Tevon Campbell, and he scores! Wealdstone 2, Ebbsfleet 1.
So Fleet down to 10. Fleet down to 10 men as well in that game. So with 71 minutes gone there, it is 2-1 for Wealdstone. So Fleet going behind, having actually just regained parity with Wealdstone with that Josh Wright goal on 70 minutes. Just slowing down a bit here because, as I said, this is taking some time.
Yeah, the protocol's involved once there's a potential neck injury, for example, or spinal column injury.
We're not going to, absolutely right. We're not going to speculate on the injury. The treatment is happening on the far side, a stretcher has been prepared for the Harrogate player on the far side. Joe Piggott has scored for Leyton Orient at Exeter City today, and
there's a nice local derby for them.
I was going to say, and
that would have been our treat if we'd been successful at Luton, wouldn't it?
Well, that's true.
They'd have a glamour tie in the next round away at Exeter.
Yeah, and up towards the top of League One, a certain Stevenage are leading 2-1 at home to Carlisle United today. Former Gillingham manager Steve Evans, of course, in charge there, and as much as they said last season he had an injection of cash there, he's proving his worth once again, Peter, in League One.
Yeah, I mean, whether obviously that'll be maintained throughout the season, we shall see. There are some big clubs with some pretty big budgets in that division, but fair play to them. They had a very good start last season, which for them and Leyton Orient, it was really all about the opening part of the season. They really built a platform that gave them a fantastic chance for at least the playoffs, if not promotion, based on what happened really in the first half of the season. And I guess he's hoping he can do something similar again. So it looks as though we're possibly heading towards the an opportunity for the Harrogate player to be removed from the field of play, and obviously hoping that that's all very much precautionary, and that hopefully he'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things that looks innocuous at first, but obviously real concern for the Harrogate player on the far side.
The ball's been kicked into his face from fairly close range. If your head gets jerked back in that situation, you have to be careful. And applause. I'd say if there's one thing that is perhaps a crumb of comfort, is that the stretcher is heading for the dressing rooms rather than the exit that's reserved for ambulances.
So rather than going out through the Rainham end exit, they are heading for the corner of the pitch here.
One wonders, of course, whether that was he's just been substituted, but one wonders whether they'd already got their double substitution ready.
They may have changed the numbers, it's possible, as they...
But they're preparing two wide players, and it's a wide player who's Sam Folarin, who's coming off injured. So my guess maybe is that substitution probably would have been the same one that they are now going to be making. But we've got 6 medical staff, and credit to the supporters both sides, particularly the Gillingham supporters, for being respectful throughout that and applauding the player off.
Oh, well, indeed. 12 minutes plus stoppages to go here, and there will be extensive stoppages, as you'd imagine, as the player Folarin is applauded off.
Well, I make it 9 minutes stoppage for the injury. So
BBC Radio Kent Sports. We will be resuming commentary very shortly. Subs to come on, taking you through the remainder of this match in League Two. I'm Matt Colby, your commentary team, Peter Lloyd, and firstly Matt Davison.
We're going to resume with a throw over on the far side. And the man who's come on, by the way, James Daly, who's a wide player, and now Jeremy Sivvy is also coming on as well.
Did Daly actually come on?
Well, maybe this is a singular substitution, actually. We'll just wait and see just for a moment or so. That's a good point. He may have actually sat down, and might even be a rethink. And you've got to, obviously not the most important thing. The most important thing is Folarin's health, but the game is going to be affected by that, and it's going to lose. It didn't have much momentum in the first place, but it's going to lose the momentum it had, and it's going to take a while to get back to the tempo it was after that injury, and his teammates will be shocked as much as anything. But Gillingham now in possession, on the right-hand side, they get possession away. It's George Thompson playing that one back, tried to play a ball forward there towards Odo. And there's a long ball there looking towards Naddison. And they rather feel that there was some sort of infringement on Naddison. I'm not sure I quite spotted that myself.
It's just being held off,
away. Yeah, that's it. If anything, it was just both of them involved. Out of play for a throw to Harrogate over on the far side. So in the game itself, the clock actually says 80 minutes. In effect, it's really 70. And we'll have at least 20 minutes still to go of this game.
Yeah, certainly. It's going to be a late one. We're going to have plenty. And you think about other additional stoppage time anyway. Regardless of that, so there could be the thick end of 25 minutes still to play here.
Yeah, it could be the highest number I've seen on a board, actually. Here's Levi Sutton now trying to go forward for Harrogate. Gets it out wide to Sims. He's only recently just come on as well. Plays the ball in towards Thompson. Ball there towards Armstrong. Armstrong back towards George Thompson. Finds Liam Gibson on the left-hand side and the inside touchline. There's Armstrong there. Now here's Sutton. He was a substitute, but he came on in the first half for another actual injury. So it's Harrogate's second injury, and there's a challenge going in there from Tom Nichols to stop George Thompson, and a chance for Gillingham to go forward. There's Mahoney on that right-hand side. He's got Alexander available on the right, but I think he probably played that too near the Harrogate defender Gibson, who is in possession. But Deeps going to have to be careful, and that's the only thing he can do really, and that's played out of play for a throw.
Yeah, that's Alexander's done well really to make something of what was a pretty ordinary pass. So Gills get a throw in, about 25 yards from the corner flag, maybe right-hand side. Looking to see Alexander not showing much influence to hurling a long throw here. But having said that, now the elephant managed to come short for him.
It does go short. The two not on the same wavelength at all. Anderson played that towards Mahoney, who played that a little bit further down the line. Alexander had not made his run, and it goes out of play for a Harrogate throw.
Yeah, that's disappointing. It doesn't help build momentum. I think we've got to be hoping that this is a one-goal game, and that one goal goes into the Rainham end. But to be fair, thus far, both teams finding it very difficult to make much happen.
Exactly, and they do
That's been
look
cleared.
Like it. Well, first, yes, quite convincingly, but not with any sort of purpose to it in an attacking
the edge
sense.
zone box, one bounce through to the Gills keeper. He wasn't messing about with that one.
So there's OG to Connor Masterson on the right-hand side.
Again, this is the situation still. Masterson, do I hit a big diagonal? And if I do, who do I hit it to? So
all those options were stopped, weren't they? Oh, good grief. That's the Sean Williams puts his hand up in the air to apologise there. Neil Harris pointing out which player he thinks he should have passed to, but
I think it wasn't Malone, it said. So I think he was hoping there that he was actually going to play one down the channel left side for Jaden Clark.
Well, there's Sims forward there towards Armstrong, and there's Odo's got a chance to try to feed that one through towards Armstrong. Too much weight on it, really. And back to Jake Turner, the Gills goalkeeper. The game, understandably, hasn't really got going after the injury.
It hasn't, but to be fair, again, like in the first half, if Odo's technique is better, he just passes that through to Armstrong. He's massively overhit it, thankfully. Crowd getting a little bit frustrated. Wanting to see Gills on the front foot, putting Harrogate under pressure. But to try and stick with it here.
Well, that's a pretty good play there from Malone on his left-hand side, just to use the sort of power and alertness to stop it getting towards Civvy. Here's Odo now trying to go forward, trying to play a ball forward there towards Civvy, but it goes back through to Jake Turner, the Gills goalkeeper, and there's frustration. They're just saying, come on, get an attack going for the Gills. We've got, let's say 7 minutes officially, more like 17 to 20 minutes probably of this game still to go, and OG plays that over to that right-hand side. There's Shea Alexander. And he gets that one all wrong, although he didn't really have any further options, really. But in the end, just lost control of it a little bit there. Levi Sutton trying to get the ball away there from Williams. Gillingham get the ball back there with Jaden Clark out wide to the right-hand side.
I think Clark wanted a return pass. The crowd got it as much as we can, try and stick with the players here. Get a little bit impatient. One goal will win this game, surely.
OG finds Malone, left-hand side. Nice little ball from him there towards Jaden Clark, who certainly got the crowd going in the first few minutes after he came on as a substitute. Plays that one back to Malone. Little return pass there towards Mackenzie. Almost runs to Malone again. Cleared away, though, this time, by Anthony O'Connor. And out of play for a Gills throw. Noise of the crowd comes back up again.
I think Neil Harris making the point. He wants us to try and get into the wide areas. Get their defenders turned around, that Malone very nearly sort of blundered his way through there.
That's OG ball forward there, headed out, but it could still come for Gillingham on the edge of the area with Nichols playing that one back there towards Shea Alexander. Very central, wasn't any option on the right-hand side, can only go left to OG, to Jaden Clark. Clark now trying to run at Sims. He's got an opportunity now, and he's cut out by the Harrogate defender and out of play for a corner. A little while since I had a corner, the 8th of the game.
Just a little bit of a buzz though as Clark got the ball, and he was going to then take somebody on, and it wasn't the best cross, but it's been blocked out by the first man. But of course Gills get the corner, and it just gives the crowd something to bite on.
Conor Mahoney would take the corner from the left-hand side. Staying back for Gillingham are the full-backs. The centre-backs have all gone forward, adopting, if anything, a more far post position. Mahoney gets it in. It's cleared away, though, by the Harrogate defence. Comes to Malone. It's Clark. They're all shouting shoot. That option probably not available. Comes to the right-hand side to Mahoney. And it's cut out by a Harrogate defender who didn't know a great deal about it, but it was effective enough. And it gives the Gills another corner on the right-hand side.
Gills though just starting to ask a question or two of this Harrogate defence. It would be very easy for Clark to get excited and pull the trigger. Instead, he's played a nice ball to Nichols, and his attempted low cross cleared away unconvincingly. Crowd are involved, atmosphere, just building towards perhaps that one moment to win the game.
Got no sort of ring of roses going on in the centre circle. In it goes, the corner then from Mahoney on the right-hand side, headed back into the danger zone. It comes almost there towards Alexander, and the referee is blown for a free kick against Gillingham. Free kick to Harrogate inside their own penalty area, and now James Daly will be coming on for the last substitution window for... I was going to say for Harrogate Town. I thought they'd already used 3 actually, but perhaps with the confusion of the injury, but yeah,
well,
I've got down they've made 1 on 40, 1 on 67, and 1 for the injury.
I think that's not an unreasonable observation. Whether that counts as a concussion injury, and that allows.
I suppose it could be. That's
an
true.
Additional.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, that would mean both clubs can actually make 6 subs. I mean, whether they necessarily want to, but the option's there. The player coming off is Matt Daly, he's substituted by James Daly. Not going to do exactly the same role. Yeah, well, Daly's going to go on the left-hand side, and Odo is going to play a more central role.
So we've got 3 minutes to go. But I think that there might be a bit more than 3 minutes. Yes. Crowd want Jake Turner to get it forward quickly. I think he's probably quite right. Yeah, we need to build rather than just launch the ball forward.
That's Malone forward there towards Naddison, but it's dealt with fairly well at the back by Harrogate Town. There's Sean Williams.
Just, again, building up, and then Masterson hits the big diagonal. I think that our defence made a horrid make of that.
Well, this could be an opportunity now, because he finds a ball into the Nichols offside there. Yeah, Nichols had gone offside from the pass from Malone, and Harrogate will get possession back.
Yeah, I think no complaints there, unfortunately. I mean, the defender's made a horrid mess of it. To be perfectly honest, he's a bit relieved, I suspect, that the header from Malone found Nichols offside. But again, there, Gills resorting into the diagonal, which I'm not sure that's going to bear too much fruit.
Well, strictly speaking, we're now in the 89th minute of the game, and it's 0-0. But as we mentioned earlier on, the long injury stoppage to Falarin for Harrogate Town, and we send him our best wishes. Means that we do have quite a considerable amount of the game still to go. It's cleared long there by Turner, up there towards Nichols, but it's dealt with at the back there by Harrogate, and Armstrong will just chase as he has done most of this game, but it's cleared by Turner. Well, I must say that could have gone horribly wrong, could have been picked up by the Harrogate midfield. It's played forward now, nobody on the end of it, and OG, got to be careful there, being put under a bit of pressure by Civi.
Stayed calm there, to be fair.
Yes.
He could easily have panicked a little bit and just tried to whack it anywhere.
Now there's Malone, he's trying to Naddison into a bit of a run. Nichols on the left-hand side, plays that one into Clark. Clark back to Nichols. It's also got Mahoney trying to make himself available for a run, but it's cut out though by Harrogate. That's Jeremy Civi in possession now, out wide to the left-hand side there towards Liam Gibson.
I think it's still important that Gills, we keep a shape, don't get drawn into something, because the crowd want us to get forward and give away something silly here in the latter stages to Harrogate.
It's been played around the Harrogate back four. We're at the point now where we're nearly at the 90, so we will see the board in a minute, and that should confirm how long we've got to go. And then, because the number will be so long, there'll be extra minutes added to that.
Well, I make it. We've got less than 10 seconds of the 90 to go, so
the board is being prepared. And here we go. What around 15, 13 minutes of stoppage time. We'll be finished at least 6 minutes past 5.
Okay. Well, plenty of time. It's probably not the day that the players would have wanted to have a board saying 13 additional minutes.
Yes. Goes through the middle looking for Naddison, that ball from the back from OG, and Harrogate will try and clear that one. Civi trying to run onto that one. It's not going to get to him first. OG he'll touch and then possibly is fouled, and is fouled. Yes, it's going to win a free kick.
Goal, that Crabble, third one of the game. Are Dover back in it, Matt Gerrard?
Yeah, we've had a third and fourth match. Now Dover 1, Weymouth 3. Joel Rawlinson with a beautiful goal on 86 minutes. Went through the Dover defence, drove it in. Dover just got their first goal as well. Cross came in. Roman Charles Cook with his second goal of the season arriving late at the back post to slot in. Too little, too late. Both sides down to 10, but it's still Dover 1, Weymouth 3.
Matt, thank you very much for that. It was Chatham 1, Cray Wanderers 4, but Cray have just scored a 5th to extend that 4-goal lead as well. Could it be consecutive 5-1 home defeats for Chatham, having started the season with 5 consecutive wins in the Isthmian Premier? Harrogate on the attack here.
With James Daly trying to get on the end of his own pass, actually, to beats Alexander for it, yeah. I mean,
here's Addison's chance to use his legs.
He gets that on the right-hand side, but Gibson is just about equal to it and gets that one back to his goalkeeper. So Harrogate clear, but into touch. So that's going to be a throw to the Gills on the halfway line.
Yeah, and the crowd doing their best to get behind the side, knowing that we've still got over 10 minutes to play yet in this game, and just maybe one chance could be everything in this match. That's a good ball.
Malone, ball forward there towards Tom Nichols. Just tried to get it into his right hand with the instep, and tried to then feed it through towards Addison, and didn't quite come off for him, and goes out of play for a goal kick.
It was a nicely shaped pass there from Malone, and just had a fraction too much on it for Nichols to bring it under control. So goalkeeper make sure he extracts as much time from the goal kick as possible.
Still waiting for Gillingham's first shot on target?
I'm afraid we are, yeah. In fact, we haven't had a shot of any description whatsoever in the second half.
I don't recall too many in the first half. The one that sort of hit Malone and went wide, and there was one from distance from Johnny Williams, wasn't there? And then Sean Williams hit one over the bar, I seem to remember.
Malone had the shot blocked.
Yeah.
Which was when it looked like it was going to open up. But, having said that, the visitors have had the one shot on target the visitors had early in the second half is the only shot of the second half so far by either team. There's a player a long way offside.
And OG will just head that one back to his
We've got a hope
for Gillingham.
In the 10 minutes to remain, Gills can find that one shot for that one goal, and everyone will go home happy.
At the moment, it's forgettable. If the Gills were to get an injury time winner, it'd be a memorable game. Well, at least the winning goal will be. I'm not sure this bit of it will be. There's a cross on the right-hand side from Alexander. It could still run from Malone on the left-hand side. He keeps it in play. Could be an opportunity. Gets a first-time cross in. A little bit too deep and headed out of play by Gibson, who puts his hand up and realises there are better options, but it is another Gills corner.
No, he's done absolutely the right thing, the defender. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. If he brings that down and someone nicks it and scores, he looks an absolute idiot. So he's done the right thing for his team, but obviously a bit of a freebie corner. The crossing there from both the right and left hand sides, not really of great quality. A bit of a gift corner we've got here.
94th minute of the game. We'll go to at least 103, and the corner comes in there from Mahoney from the right-hand side, and Sutton head that one, but more towards goal. There's a scramble, could really go anywhere. Where's it going to fall for? OG is there. Another shot comes in. It's Nichols. Has it actually got in? It has got in. It's Sean Williams. Gillingham score in the 94th minute of the game. The rest of the game you can forget. If that's the winning goal, and if that's the goal that puts the Gills top of the table tonight, you'll remember that goal for a long time to come. A scramble, a scrappy goal. They all count. Gillingham 1, Harrogate Town 0.
Goodness me, really a bit of a freebie corner. Goes in there, heads up in the air. No one can really clear it. It's a bit like kids' football. Everyone's having a kick at it. Someone's going to get the right contact. One attempted shot gets blocked, and it sits up nicely for Williams from no more than 3 yards out. And suddenly it's the best game I've seen in ages. But now we've got a job to do. There's still 9 minutes to play, for goodness sake. Plus a bit more stoppage time. So, out of absolutely nowhere, really, Gills finally have a shot on target, and it's a goal. And if we can get off the pitch for a 1-0 win, this could be a huge result, because come the end of the season, no one will care how the game's been played. It's a results business, and if we can really, having not played that well, struggled, but get one shot on target and win the game, it will be a huge 3 points psychologically for the club.
Sean Williams making his way back to his own half. Looks like a man who's just run a marathon, but it goes out of play on this near side, and Harrogate in possession. As you say, 9 minutes for them to get back in the game. And we could probably work out what the league table is going to be, because I think that would put the Gills top of the table. Notts County and Milton Keynes was level when I last saw, but we'll look at that in just a moment or so. And
let's make sure we get the job done here first.
Let's not worry about that. Yeah.
Then we can worry about where we are in the the live league table, which I'm sure that Matt Cole is all over it. And the fans think we're going to be top of the league, that's for sure. But we've still got a job to do here. I'm sure Harrogate will feel they've perhaps been mugged a tiny bit in a game of almost zero opportunities. One slightly fortunate corner, an under-9s scramble in the goal mouth, and Sean Williams in the right place at the right time. So,
the second would be lovely, but just hold on to this.
I mean, let's make sure.
Just worry about the one for now. Yeah.
I want this to be a one-goal game now.
Well, absolutely, but it might not be because it's Sivitron. No, he's not going to get on to the end of that one, Civi rather, and it goes through to the goalkeeper.
All I was going to say was, I'm not mentioning live league tables because by the time this game finishes, it will be the league table.
Right, it is. But the other game's finished.
Gills fans in tremendous voice, and people are walking out saying, what a tremendous performance, what a tremendous result. If we get the 1-0, that's the nature of the beast. But we just want to keep our concentration, make sure we see out these last, well, as it is now, 6 minutes plus stoppage time. We're going to see a bit of time wasting now, possibly going to 5 at the back. We shall see.
Well, Maxime there is being prepared. That will be Gillingham's last substitution window. And Mahoney is coming off.
I don't think that's going to be a straight swap somehow.
No. I don't think we're going to see
I've seen Max play up front. I remember one from an evening game here where Mr. Cole suggested it'd be a good idea. And then we saw why it wasn't a good idea.
Well, certainly one thing that's for sure is he's not going to be playing right wing.
No, I think that he's come on very much. He's having words with the Masterson and OG. I suspect he's going to sit as the central man in the free at the heart of the defence.
It's now cleared away by Mark Oxley there. A little bit of impetus now on the Harrogate side, but they're all exhausted. Bit of a collision between Civi and Shadrach OG for Gillingham. And Gillingham try and play that one forward, and I just want to get possession back. And, well, that's good play there from Malone. Goes out of play, but uses up time. I looked at a stat earlier on. Obviously, we know Gillingham won the first 4 league games of the season by 1-0, and this could be another one now. If Gillingham score the first goal in games, they don't tend to avoid winning them. Only twice in 2023 have they gone 1-0 up and not won. And both of those are actually fairly credible draws. And one will draw against Stockport here, and a 2 will draw away to Bradford City. They don't lose. They're going to go 1-0 up, certainly.
Well, let's just make sure we maintain that, and hopefully with about 4.5 minutes plus any additional time, closing in on a pretty valuable 3 points these would be.
And here's Sims on the right-hand side. Gets it over towards Armstrong. And there was Daly trying to run in on that at the far post. And it looks like Gibson has not kept that one in play. Or the crowd would suggest, no, it has stayed in play. Or the crowd perhaps suggesting it hadn't stayed in play. But it's a chance now for Harrogate. They're going to struggle to break down the back 5 for Gillingham now. Goes towards Armstrong, gets a header towards goal. And it's cut back in, but only into the safe hands of Jake Turner, who took a couple of touches. And then is just holding on to the ball to use up as many seconds
as possible. A couple of times there we just sort of were officiating the game for the ref. There was going to be a throw-in and it wasn't, and then the ball's going to go out for a goal kick, and just switched off a tiny bit. But fortunately the hook back was into the left mitt of the Gills keeper, and we've now had 9.5 of the 13 minutes.
Well, it may well end up being more than that because of the goal, of course. There's Jaden Clark, can't keep it in play. It goes over the advertising board, but it's going to be all right. And a challenge going in there from Tom Nichols to give Harrogate.
That was an experienced challenge from Nichols.
He knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, that's just... oh dear, it's a foul, ref. I'm ever so sorry.
There's a long ball which goes towards Armstrong for Harrogate, won well by OG, and now with Shea Alexander on the right-hand side. 10th minute of the 13 of stoppage time. 13 at least, minimum of 13. But Alexander goes towards the corner flag and wanted to stay there and can't keep it in play. He goes out of play. It's going to be a goal kick to Harrogate Town.
Yeah, just really trying to run a bit of time out of the clock there. And, at the start of the additional time, very frustrated crowd, no attempts on goal. At the end of additional time, possibly Gills 1-0 winners and top of the league. What a strange game this football can be.
Well, Gillingham will be top of the league, having scored 5 goals in 7 games, which will be...
It takes rare. 1 goal to win the game.
Well, as it was pointed out to me at the press conference this week.
Sean Williams is...
Oh, he looked. Ogie's got the man of the match award.
Yeah, well, I suppose he made one crucial challenge in the first half. And to be fair, it's quite a tough decision, I would suggest, to be man of the match, unless you give it to Sean Williams because he scored a goal.
Yeah. Well, and I think Sean Williams has also done a very good job in the centre of midfield as well, as indeed as Mackenzie. I apologise, I haven't probably mentioned as much as I should have done, but it's a throw now on the left-hand side for Gillingham. And Malone taking a few yards, but not checked by any of the officials. Harrogate win possession back.
Good challenge from Sean Williams.
Absolutely, in the right place at the right time. Hasn't got much energy left in those legs, but found them certainly on that occasion to stop Harrogate going forward. And there's Malone, a long ball forward there. Towards Nichols, comes to Jaden Clark on the left-hand side. And just needed Gillingham to keep possession and go towards the corner flag on that occasion. Goes up towards Armstrong. Free kick to Harrogate on the halfway line. And rather than take it quickly and load a few players forward.
We should just explain to listeners that have already rejoined us from BBC Sounds Listen Live that this game has gone long into injury time. 13 minutes stoppage time for an injury to Harrogate's Falarin. It was taken off during the second half. We're still going here with Gillingham leading by 1-0 and stoppage time, well, close-ish to it expiring.
At least 2.5 minutes or so of it still to go, and it's dealt with that one. That free kick went in. It was dealt with by Ogie. And Harrogate winning possession back on the left-hand side. Harrogate get a ball in. Wouldn't give any appeals for a handball there, but it's the type of thing that always gets an appeal from the crowd. May have been from the 30-odd Harrogate fans. Challenge going in there.
I think there's a forwards tackle there from Addison. He's doing his best to get back on the ball, but he's challenging from behind. It's slightly fortunate. And I just want to point out that we now know the answer to a question we posed a few weeks ago about what would happen when a game went past 100 minutes on the scoreboard.
It stops.
It stops at 10. So now
we know it can go past 10 because it did when we played 11 minutes.
Just need to zoom out a little bit, I think.
Yes.
We need to.
Oh, there is
Can you do
another
that with
number
your
to the
fingers?
right-hand side. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
It's mainly a visual gag. I do apologise for that. There's a free kick for Harrogate. Could be a crucial one as well. Gillingham need to defend it here. By the way, Tunbridge and Dover's game has both finished. They've both lost at home in National League South.
That's the 13 minutes up.
So 104th minute of the game, and this is Harrogate's last chance to get a point from this game. And it's a direct free kick for that foul by Ashley Addison. And it's floated in towards the far post. Well dealt with there by Conor Masterson. Harrogate, though, do get the ball back. Everybody forward for them. There's Levi Sutton. And it's well run there. Here. It's a chance now for Ashley Addison. He's going to go straight through on goal or go towards the corner flag. But it is a one-on-one. It's saved by the goalkeeper. Still comes for Gillingham, though. It's Conor Masterson right up. When you're 1-0 up in the 104th minute, you don't expect to see your centre-half up that advanced up the pitch. But there he was, Conor Masterson.
Just go in the corner.
Just use up these seconds there. There's Clark. It's Jaden Clark, and it's a touch from Harrogate, and it goes out of play, and the referee will...
It's a Harrogate throw. It's right by their own corner.
Yes, Harrogate throw goes forward there, and it's Ogie who now collects for Gillingham. Long ball forward there. Can Nichols try and keep that ball by the corner flag?
It's
Keeps
done well.
it in play there. There's Jaden Clark. Just keep it there. Nichols is still in a heap. He gets up there. Just use up these last few seconds around the corner flag. They all sort of fall on each other.
Goal kick.
The referee's given a goal kick. He thinks it's gone out of play. And he's very near it, so I suspect it did.
Well, we're past 14 minutes of additional time now. So, anytime you like, ref, please.
Won't be long now. Keep an eye on that referee and the whistle in his mouth. A long one forward, taken there by Jake Turner, who lies on the ball, and he's every right to do that now, because Gillingham have earned that.
Well, it was hit so powerfully, knocked him off his feet.
There goes the whistle. And the Gills go top of League Two. Another 1-0 win. It's Gillingham 1, their opponents 0 for the 5th time this season in the league. And it's Sean Williams, who in the 94th of the 105 we eventually played, who's won it. The players are absolutely exhausted. There's no mass celebrations. There's no energy left for that. But the Gills have won it. Not a game of masses of chances. And that doesn't matter because they all count. It's finished here at the Priesthood Stadium. Frantic end to this game. Gillingham 1, Harrogate Town 0.
Well, it's a game that will not live long in the memory in terms of what happened for 90-odd minutes. But the important stat is that tomorrow's papers will say Gillingham 1, Harrogate 0. We've traded almost nothing at all, and then one big scramble in the goal mouth, falls for Sean Williams to tuck away. Yes, to be fair, Addison probably should have put a gloss on it, and how absurd it would have been if Gills had won 2-0, given the chances or the lack of them were created. But fans, cheering to the rafters. Everyone's happy, apart from the poor souls who've got to head back to Yorkshire on the far side. We've nicked a result there, but dare one say, those are the sort of results that end up being very, very important at the end of the season. It's those sort of games where you really have played pretty ordinarily, and that's being kind, created nothing at all, and you've walked off the pitch for a 1-0 win. So we'll take that, thank you very much. Top of the table, what can I say? I think there's still the small matter of, 39 games to play yet.
Yeah, it's what is still a live league table, Peter, but the other 2 live games will have no effect on Gillingham being top of the table tonight, the 9th of September. Mark it in your diaries. The Wild Sports will play right now. Gillingham having won this game. Well, we might have seen the good, the bad and the ugly side of Gillingham this week, but they are top of League 2. Let's quickly go to our other feature games. I don't think quite so much excitement or quite so much fun for Tunbury supporters at home to Taunton Town today in National South. Matt Eastley.